What's up? Yo, thanks, Mr. Little Bat. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, that was a compilation of a lot of what some of the better clips and content we got over the first year, man. So, again, on the 24th of last month, we had our 1 year anniversary, and so for the 1 year anniversary, I got that video collage set up for the beginning of the stream. So thanks, man. I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you liked it. Sorry, I know I was a little bit late getting everything ready after the clip was done, so I apologize. But we're here. We're here. I'm glad you liked them, Mister Little Bad. I'm glad you liked them, man. Yeah, cool, man. I'm glad. That's what I'm trying to do, man. Make content that you guys enjoy, man. That's what it's all about. Stuff that we've done in the community. Good times, man. How are you this morning, Mr. Little Bat? How is everybody else? It's good to see you. I'll hold off on that drink of coffee. We were down yesterday. It felt like forever. I didn't even get to really work on a lot of the other stuff that I wanted to work on yesterday, but I had some life stuff that I had to take care of. So it'll happen from time to time. But it feels good to be back. We've got showcases today. We've got gaming news first, obviously. And we'll be sprinkling in the Valheim play as we kind of go today. I think we've got 3 showcases today? Something like that. We'll pull it up and see. We'll pull it up and see this morning, okay? It's good to see everybody. I hope your day is going very well. Let's do what we do. Go ahead and hop into this gaming news segment, and then we'll move on from there and see what time all of our showcases start and get some Valheim play in. By the way, servers are up today already, as usual. Valheim servers are up, so if you're part of the server play, then go ahead and hop in there and do what you do. Let's get this going. Gaming news, baby. Let's go. I'm sure we'll get a good amount of what's happening today as far as showcase wise, but let's see what else we might need to catch up on from being down yesterday. Yeah, let's do this. Back is a lot better and off day sick, dude. That's awesome. Good. I'm glad to hear that. I've been starting to work out again a little bit, and which I've got to do another workout today. I started getting into a good groove of working out. Then I got sick, so I was down for about a week of not working out, and now I'm trying to get back into it. So I don't know. I tweaked my back just a little bit the other day, but it's not too bad. I just got to take it slow, man. Oh man, that sucks. Okay. Okay. Well, I hope you don't have it, and I hope that your sister recovers very quickly. Yeah. All right, we got a GameStop sale. Forza Horizon 5's first expansion will be Hot Wheels. Take a look at that. EA denying a report that Battlefield 2042 development is winding down. Dude, here we go. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is the next $70 game on PC. You know what's funny about this is not because this is Activision game, right? And Activision Blizzard are the same company nowadays. So not only are they pumping out these brand new games at $70 a pop, they also want you to spend an absurd amount of money in their online games. Diablo Immortal. So we'll talk about that. Crazy, man. It's just crazy. I can't wait for Microsoft to take that company over. What a bag of trash Activision Blizzard has become. Okay, I am not a fan of Meta, Facebook, that company. I feel like is so scummy, dude. Just really, really like a dirty company. But let's take a look at this. It has to do with gaming. So Facebook Gaming brings Creta's user-generated games to the platform. Take a look at that. Xbox and Bethesda showcase preview. We'll skim this. We've already heard about. We already knew some of what we're going to see on there. The big hope is that we'll see some of the games we've been anticipating, like Avowed, and we've gotten some hints here and there. But we'll take a look. We'll take a look and see. Pro Cycling Manager and Tour de France 2022 PC game launching today. Okay, I hadn't even heard about that. Dude, they're just releasing Season 1 for Battlefield? Really? Didn't this game release like at the end of last year? Huh. I'm gonna pull that up. We'll pull that up. Yo, gamer, what's up, buddy? How are you, man? Yeah, we already know about the Capcom showcase. That's happening on the 13th or 14th. So at the beginning of next week, we'll be watching it either. I think the Capcom showcase is late in the day though, so we'll keep track. We'll see. If we don't watch it live, we'll watch it the next day. You know what I mean? Oh, Steam Leak reveals controversial Nintendo Switch exclusive coming to PC. Let's see what that is. Modern Warfare 2, Warzone 2, and all future Call of Duty games on one unified engine. Let's see what that's about. Oh, this is cool. Hang iconic gaming moments on your wall with these pixel frames. Let's see what that's about. I love the cool like collectible kind of stuff for video games, man. I love that stuff. We'll take a look at this. Here are all the major video game news and upcoming game releases. I think is probably what they're going at. So we'll take a quick glance at that. We'll actually, I mean, as far as this article is concerned, we're going to know a lot more after this week and the beginning of next week in regards to what games we can be kind of hyped for potentially coming our way in the near future. After all the showcases and stuff like that. Razer Kishi V2 looks like an ideal Xbox cloud gaming. This looks like a mobile controller. Let's take a look at this. Tackling latency in next gen gaming. You know, this is actually kind of a big deal. You know, in competitive games, obviously most of the time whenever you're playing competitive online games, you're able to pick. There'll be servers that are basically 4 different regions, right? You'll have like European servers, or you'll have Eastern and Western European servers, and you'll have North American servers and South American servers, and Russian servers. I mean, what have you? You know, I mean, they'll have them all over the place. But the fact of the matter is, when you're playing a competitive game, you don't always want to be region locked to your specific part of the world. You want to compete against other notable players around the world. And one of the things that makes that very hard quite often is latency. Now, whether that be actually, your connection versus the coding behind their online gameplay environment from the developer, there's all kinds of things to take into consideration. But it is a big topic to discuss because it does highly affect your, especially if you're very, very competitive in a game and you're working your way up the ranks. Um, you want to see how you compete against some of the other players in the world, not just your region, right? So this is an appropriate thing for us to take a look at. Gaming restaurants have become like a big deal, but I'm sorry, man. I don't want to go up into a gaming have to put my hands on somewhere where somebody else has had their hands all over it and stuff, especially when they're like eating food and touching their mouth and stuff like that. I just that doesn't appeal to me very much, man. I'm sure they've got some kind of regiment down about cleaning things off after people come through there and everything, but still, man. Then you're just banking on the fact that the restaurant is keeping things clean like they're supposed to, and sorry, you can't always rely on that. So I don't know. Got an eyelash. Interblock announces strategic acquisition by Oak Tree. Let's see. I think this is actually. We'll see. We'll see if that's actually video games or not. It could be like actual casino type games. I'm not sure. We'll take a look. If it is, we'll just disregard. Ollie Ollie looks really good, man. Yo, rando mode time already. Let's go, guys. Try to get that free sub. Nice. In your face. Our buddy Tabo actually posted some really cute pictures of him and his cat this morning or early yesterday, early this morning for me, anyways. In the Discord, you should take a look. His cat's adorable. Nice. There you go, buddy. Come on, bruh. That's what we're looking for. That come on, bruh. Tekken 7 most sold game in series canceled. Marvel. Yeah, MMO. We already talked about that. I'm not going to go this week in gaming. We come across a lot of that stuff. Biggest gaming news. We cover gaming news every single day. So a lot of what this is going to be is basically a summary of a lot of things we've already come across. So these kinds of articles, I'm not going to dive into that. Okay. Biggest gaming news. Biggest gaming news. Humble Games Black Game Developer Fund reveals five. We'll see what that's about. Ha ha. Yeah, I never said that. And that's kind of what I was getting at last week is look, uh, games like that are developed in a way to make it where you um, this is not a new tactic, okay? This is what most of these games do. They incorporate a development style which makes it to where you can enjoy the first, you know, part of content first. Yeah, no, I know. I'm just going to expand on what you put in chat. That's it. That's it. Because it's important to really flesh this out with what you said. Okay, that's all. That's all I'm getting at. Um, what they do is make it to where it doesn't feel like you need to pay anything in the first like half of the game. The later half of the game is where that really comes into play, right? And unfortunately, it's a gimmick that works on a lot of people because you feel like you've invested that time, you've invested, you're invested in that character and in that world at that point, and then they turn it, the script kind of flips on you, right? Because you're enjoying the game, you've had a good time up until that point, and then all of a sudden the pay to it's really in Diablo Immortal. I know for a fact now. I've looked at much information. I've seen a lot of content regarding the game, and it definitely changes over into a way that is, if you don't pay, you're not going to progress. Once you hit a certain threshold, if you don't pay, you're not going to progress, right? And that's the main thing to keep into consideration. There is yeah, you're going to get you're going to get an amount of hours in the game. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's kind of what I was hitting on last week, or what was it, Tuesday, beginning of the week when we were talking about it. It's not the fact that you can't get an amount of enjoyment out of the game, but it's the fact, what really sucks about it is that they're incorporating this mechanic that it hooks people into the gameplay, right? And it makes you feel invested in that character and in that world. And then it's like, okay, well, if you want to keep progressing, you've got to pay. Because this is not just it's pay to win, it's pay to progress, right? It's like, if you don't start paying, and I'm talking, yeah. No. I mean, you're explaining it well. I'm just elaborating a little bit, right? I'm just elaborating. That's it. Because you're right. You're absolutely right. It's not the fact that you can't get an amount of enjoyment, an amount of gameplay for free out of the game, But if you actually want to get up into progressing into what the rest of the game has to offer for in game, you can't do it without paying. No. I know. No, I know. It's good we talk about this kind of stuff. It is. It's good we talk about this kind of stuff. So it's very important to me because we don't just do these live, right? All these segments get put up on YouTube, and it's important that whenever we bring up these kinds of topics, we really flesh it out, and we make sure we're hitting, this topic from all different angles and everything. So, yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, and that's a kind of mechanic and gimmick that's been placed into these, pay to win, pay to progress types of games for a long time now. And it's just still a far cry from any kind of game that, and we'll just throw Lost Ark in there as an example. Yeah, you can pay if you want, but you don't have to pay to get all the way through, get all the in-game items, get through all the in-game content. It's a much, much different kind of methodology in incorporating your ability to pay for things. It's a difference from feeling like you can pay if you want to progress, like Lost Ark does, or you have to pay to get in-game progression, right? Which is what Diablo Immortal does. So it's just, again, you're not like offbeat there, gamer. It just felt for me that we needed to take it a step further and make sure that we're addressing the entirety of that situation surrounding that game, because it is definitely, without a doubt, in fact, a game that you have to pay to get in-game items, and not just a little bit. We're talking massive amounts of money. I saw somebody that had been playing the game had spent over $10,000 in the game and still hadn't received the item they were after. Over $10,000 in the game and still hadn't received the in-game item that they were after. So it's not like you can just pay and get it either. It's like RNG chance type of stuff too. So you're just dumping money, and then there's that next level of progression after you get what you want there. Um, So that's one of the things I've also talked about, and not just recently. I mean, this is something that I hit on whenever Microsoft, when it was first announced that Microsoft, I guess that Activision Blizzard had accepted an offer from Microsoft to buy out the company, right? and I continue to talk about this anytime a big acquisition comes up. It's about competition is good in business, right? And in this business, in gaming, we need competition, and we talk about that a lot. But if there were going to be situations where I was okay with massive companies absorbing other massive companies at this point, I think Microsoft acquiring Activision Blizzard is one of those that I'm actually okay with, because there is no denying the fact that Activision Blizzard has been just a kind of pile of crap developer for long. Not just developing games with these kind of mechanics in them and stuff, which makes us kind of cringe, but also the fact of all the stuff that has come out about their toxic work environment, discriminatory stuff that happens within that agency, that organization. There's a lot of bad stuff that has happened within that organization for a long time. Where I would say a lot of the games they develop, as well as just their workplace environment and stuff. And for me, whenever I heard the news, that's kind of what I hit on, was that I was happy. I think if there was any company that come in, big company that could probably do a pretty good job of stripping that company down, building it back up the right way personnel wise, and also taking some of those older IPs and revamping them and making them better. I think Microsoft is a good one to probably do it. So as far as that acquisition is concerned, I definitely feel like, and look, I am not shy about this. I feel like a big catalyst behind why this company has turned into what it has turned into is the head of it, which is Bobby Kotick. That is one of the only individuals throughout this entire debacle of all the news and things that have come to light about Activision Blizzard. He is one of the only individuals that has remained on at the upper echelon of management in that company. He's the CEO, right? And I truly feel that, and there's been a lot of information that's come out about that individual too, that makes me feel like he absolutely needs to go. And I think if Microsoft is definitely committed to changing Activision Blizzard for the better, they've got to start from that individual and just eliminate anybody that had anything to do with negative management styles, the toxic kind of work environment, all that stuff. And then they've got to start working on trying to revamp some of those old IPs, or because their catalog, their portfolio of games and available IPs and stuff is just going to expand massively after taking on Activision Blizzard. So that's what I've been saying about that acquisition all along. Let's see what else you got, buddy. Okay. As far as PvP with pay to win fighting a free to play player, free to play owned the pay to. Are you talking about in Diablo Immortal? So look, yeah, I mean, there's always something that's going to be said for somebody's skill, but there's also no denying the fact that if there's pay to win in a game, I'm talking 99% of the time is going to skew what happens with PvP. That is tried and true in the industry, buddy. If you can pay to be more powerful than another player, it still skews what happens in PvP. So you can't. There's just. I mean, that's facts, man. That's just facts. Now there's always going to be an amount of skill, but I mean, you're talking about taking a look at it from this point of view, right? Does it necessarily? I mean, because I'll give you an example. A game that incorporates no kind of pay to win mechanics in their game, right? But it has PvP. You're talking about two people on a level playing field as far as their stats and everything go. All that is taken into consideration, you know what I mean, is only skill level. How whoever has a better skill level is going to come out on top, right? Naturally. Um, but it drastically changes things when you incorporate pay to win, and depending on the level of pay to win that's there, it raises the other player up significantly on just stats and things like that. And they always are going to have an advantage over somebody else that's not pay to win, right? And a lot of this is going to come down to what game you're talking about, how much pay to win is there in it, how much of an advantage can somebody else get. But you cannot deny the fact that in pay to win, it skews PvP considerably, because ultimately, at the end of the day, that player that is paying for stuff is going to have an advantage. And this player is going to have a handicap, right? It doesn't mean they're never going to win. It just, most of the time, this player is going to come out on top because they've just got better stats, better weapons, what have you. Depends on what the game is, things like that. So that's what people are trying to get at. Nobody's saying that you can't potentially have be very good skill wise, right? And take on some of those players and still give it a good shot. But ultimately, inherently, there is a handicap going on there between a pay to win and a free to play player. That's what it is. It's the way it works. It's the way it works. Um, so, I mean, you're saying in many cases it comes down to skill. There's always going to be skill involved, obviously. But that handicap is always going to be there between somebody free to play and somebody that pays to win. It just is. Um, Look, so if anyone thinks that a game's DLC is a type of pay microtransaction, I have a reason why I buy the game. Only things I buy are DLC content and maybe some visual stuff. So there's that's a whole nother bag of worms to consider there too, because um, it depends. There's DLC has become this like over encompassing word that takes on a lot of uh, patching and new content and stuff, right? But ultimately, traditionally through gaming, there's been quite a difference between DLC and um, expansions. Okay, so an expansion traditionally has legitimately been something that added an entirely new. Well, I'll hit on that in a moment, Mr. Littlebat. Um, Expansions traditionally in gaming, right, have been huge content, huge amounts of content that are going to significantly add to gameplay, gaming worlds, allow you significantly more time to play in and stuff, right? And I think that's where a lot of people, a lot of gamers and stuff over the years are like, cool. An expansion is like worth paying for, right? But DLC has become this like over encompassing word that kind of takes on like what expansion is as opposed to just like smaller DLC stuff. And look, DLC it's used in many different ways just to address content you can buy, right? And um, I think where people kind of get tired of that is that it's, and it depends again from game to game. You're getting a different experience, right? Where um, I think what people get tired of is the fact that whenever like, because this is what'll happen quite often nowadays, a game will release and you're talking like a week or two later, they've got all this DLC content that drops that you can pay for after you've already paid for the base game, and it's like, you guys already had all this ready. I just paid $60 for this game. Now you just dropped 2 weeks after the drop of the game, you just put out a bunch of DLC that was obviously already ready for the game. You just didn't want to include it because you wanted to try to suck more money out of people, right? So it's not the premise of necessarily what you're getting out of the DLC all the time. So a lot of it is that it comes off as a very scummy move quite often, right? Whereas you're already paying up front for a large amount or you're already paying a large amount of money up front to play the game, and it's very obvious that there was already content for the game that they just didn't want to include because they wanted to try to suck more money out of people, you know? So, and it varies from game to game. How much content was in the game on release, you know what I mean? How big are the DLCs that you're paying for? What all does it include in the game? There's a lot of variables to consider when you're talking about that kind of thing. But traditionally, there was a difference between like DLC, which were like smaller things to add to the game, as opposed to like an expansion that was big content, right? And now that's kind of changed to where DLC has become this like kind of overarching word to just include small content things you can pay for, and even like large patches of content that significantly add to the game. So there's a lot of variables to consider. And I mean, I think a lot of people are in the same area as you are, gamer, when it comes to DLC. I like buying DLC, especially if it feels like it's worth buying, right? And a lot of times, companies will come out with DLC expansions, whatever you want to call it, after the game. And I mean, kudos to the developers that continue to build upon their game, right? And it takes money to do that. And so when there's really good DLC that comes out and or expansions, what have you, I'm the same way, man. I love buying that stuff. That's what I was actually prompting everybody, specifically on Epic. You know, they've been giving away during their Epic Mega Sale right now. They've been giving away they always give away some great games, right? But most of the time, the games don't come with DLC. And I'll give you a great example. XCOM 2 was given away not too long ago, right? But it was given away without any DLC. And everything I know about the game is that the DLC significantly adds to the experience of the game overall. And I was like, look, if you didn't get the DLC, or if you don't already have the DLC for XCOM and you got the game for free, it's probably a good time to just go buy, because I think there's a DLC package that's on sale, then you get another 25% off, right? So I am not against DLC, so don't take it that way. There's just a lot of variables to consider when you're talking about that kind of content. I will disagree with you, Mr. Littlebat, that skill is everything, regardless how much you spend. I will significantly, actually, disagree with that notion. Everybody's available to their, their idea behind that. I think skill is a hugely it's a large component of how well you're going to do in PvP, right? The more you do PvP in any kind of game, the more you're going to get better at, what that PvP gameplay entails, and honing your skills at it, right? But there are definitely titles out there that make it to where if you're going to have a really, really hard time as a free-to-play player taking out anybody that's PvP. So, to put just a broad statement in there like skill is everything regardless of how much you spend, I will heavily disagree with that notion. It's going to depend on the title and how much of a pay-to-win element is within that, and how hard it skews the PvP gameplay towards a handicap for a free-to-play player. It's not always going to be the case. A lot of time, and there's always the element of skill involved. But to say that it pay to win never is going to have anything to do to outclass skill, I feel like that's a false statement. Gamer, take it easy, buddy. Have a great day. Thanks for all the chat, man. I appreciate it. Sorry I was down yesterday, buddy, but have a great day. Stay safe, man. We'll see you later. Okay. Great talk, dude. Great talk. So, look again, just like we were talking with the DLC stuff. There's a lot of variables that are going to go into each different title that might be like free to play and have pay to win stuff, right? And I ultimately there's always going to be something to be said for skill level, right? And but how much of a handicap are you trying to overcome? Yeah, and to me, I just would rather always see a level playing field. You know what I mean? Take the pay to win out of it. I don't think it's necessary most of the time. Take it easy, buddy. Yeah, have a great day. Look at all those emotes, dude. Um, and again, I'm just giving my personal view and experience when it comes to these kinds of things. And I love being able to flesh out these topics and have discussions with you guys. So we can agree to disagree if that's the case. I'm not trying to necessarily sway anybody with these discussions as much as I am just trying to get everybody to see different points of view, right? Because I'll always try to see it from community's point of view as well. But there are some things that I'm I have experience in, and for me personally, that's the way I'm going to feel about it. So that being one of them, I would rather see a level playing field. Across the board, any kind of game I play that incorporates PvP, I don't want to see anybody have any kind of handicap based on what you can buy to increase your survivability or your damage output or anything like that, right? I want to see a level playing field where it is just based on skill. You know what I mean? That's what I want. Just base it on skill. Don't make it to where anybody can pay for and to make it harder for the other player to take them out or whatever. That's the best thing that could happen possibly across the gaming world for PvP as far as I'm concerned. All right. I'm going to take a drink of coffee and then we'll keep going. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no doubt. Humble Games, Black Game Developer Fund reveals 5 ellipses. We got that pulled up. We'll take a look at that. Oh, dude. Online gaming addiction is turning children violent. I'm going to read this. I'm already kind of tilted at this. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I can definitely understand that. I can attest to like I mean that's one of the things that's very difficult too. Like I mean there a couple of years ago I tried to get into Apex, and try Apex out for a while and I could see that my skill level was starting to increase. But man, I mean you drop into those games and you're talking about people that have been playing a game like Apex or Call of Duty or what have you, just nonstop since release and nonstop throughout the years, and they're just that's all they do is play that. So their skills are very very honed, right? And whenever you're like a fresh gamer trying to get into that content and you drop in there, it feels hard to progress your skills, to hone your skills in to an extent because you come across so many players that are just so good already that you just get melted all the time. So it's definitely a process if you're not playing the game from the start and really getting good along with other people. If you're trying to drop in there and hone your skills at playing with a bunch of people that are it feels really tough and feels really sweaty. Just like it's like drop in, die, for a while until you start figuring stuff out. So it can be frustrating, no doubt. I mean, I can attest. I've been there, buddy. Proto Droid Delta to be published by Humble Games. Let's see what this is. So I think we're actually going to play a little bit. I'll bring it up. I'll bring it up during the at the end of the news segment. I think we're going to try out a new game this weekend a little bit. What was it? What's it called here? Let me pull it up. Just to give something a shot. It's a free to play game. We came across it this week in the news. Roller Champions. I am not a huge. I'll go ahead and pull it up. The thing that throws me off a little bit is that it's an Ubisoft game. I'm not a huge lover of Ubisoft, but Roller Champions is a free to play game, and I don't know. I just kind of want to. It just released at the end of last month, and I figure it's a free to play game. I like doing community stuff on the weekends, and we're probably going to give this a shot this weekend. So that's kind of my thought right now. Is along with because from today all the way through like Tuesday of next week right now, we've got a lot of showcases too. So and especially this weekend, we've got a lot of showcases to watch. So having a game like this that we can play as a community and anybody that plays on PC can just download and play. I don't know if it's it's on PS4, PS5, Xbox. It's on everything, man. So I don't know. I think there's cross-platform too. I think. I'll make sure. But I think this is what we're going to play this weekend. That way we can just like pick it up and put it down, have some good, fun community times and stuff. Hopefully with this title, check it out, see what it's about, and kind of get in and out of gameplay pretty easy, so we can get into these showcases and watch these showcases together too. Okay, but I think that's kind of the play for now, and I'll put that out in the Discord and on Twitter and stuff like that too. Yeah. What is multi-threaded rendering in video games? Let's take a look. Let's increase our knowledge. Yeah, we already read about this. Apple is bringing Resident Evil Village and No Man's Sky to their games library on Mac. They've got some downscaling, rendering kind of stuff that they're doing now with some of their technology, much the same as like DLSS for NVIDIA, and so it's making it easier for them to run these kinds of games on their devices. Let's pivot real quick. Get into our other search. People make games just taking on Roblox and abusive indie developers. Let's take a look at that. We're gonna have a lot of news today, but that's okay. Hey, China issued 60 new video game licenses, uh, and none for Tencent or NetEase. Hmm. Okay, this is gonna be an interesting article. We already read about that. What time does this start today? Let me make sure I know what time. I'm pretty sure the Summer Games Fest stuff starts kind of early. I lied. It's noon o'clock. It's noon o'clock for us today. Noon o'clock. Okay. Let's look at what we've got for today. Actually, 8 a.m. I wonder if that's Eastern. That might mean it's starting right now. Oh, 8 a.m. Pacific. So we're talking 10 o'clock a.m. here. Okay. So VR showcase. That might be the first one for today. Um, Oh, we missed the Netflix stuff yesterday. And the Black Voices in Gaming. We might have to watch that. We'll probably have to go back and watch these. We got Summer Game Fest and then IGN as well. No, there's another one for June 9th today. Sorry, I know we're getting out of the news just a little bit, but I want to make sure that we know exactly what we're watching today. Summer Games Fest and then Day of the Devs. Yeah. So we've got, dude, we've got showcases all day. We've got showcases all day. We've got the VR showcase. Starting at 10. And then what, Summer Games at noon? No. At 1. Day of the Devs also at 1. So we won't be watching Day of the Devs today. What we might do is take tomorrow morning after. Oh, wait, we got Devolver as well? Wait, what? Oh, we got Devolver. Dude, we got like 4 showcases today. We're probably not going to be able to watch Day of the Devs because it's happening at the Day of the Devs is at 3 for us, 1 for us. 10, right? Yeah, 10. 10, 1, 3. What about Devolver? When's Devolver's? This is 5. 5 o'clock. We'll probably have to watch Devolver tomorrow morning. We'll probably watch Devolver's showcase tomorrow morning as a VOD, okay? And then we'll watch the rest of these other 3 today. It's gonna be a busy day of showcases. And what we'll try to do, I didn't realize that we missed the Black Voices in Gaming and Netflix stuff yesterday. So we'll watch that tomorrow morning in between news and the other showcases and Valheim play, okay? So we'll catch up on all that. Mm-hmm. Okay. So for now, we'll keep all that down. Got roughly, 3 hours till first showcase starts. That'll be the VR stuff. Yo, by the way, let me bring this up real quick because I don't know if it's going to come up in the news. You can only get Wolfenstein, the New Order, for free for the next, few hours, okay? It's only available for the next few hours, and then there'll be a new mystery game coming up, okay? So if you haven't grabbed Wolfenstein New Order yet, go get a free game, man. This isn't about promoting Epic Games. It's just about getting people access to free games. So go grab Wolfenstein New Order on Epic Game Store, and then we'll see what comes up in just less than 3 hours, okay? For their next free game. One second, guys. Sorry, guys. Sorry. What's it on? I haven't played that. Are you talking about this? What were you talking about specifically? Sorry, buddy. Let me know exactly what you're talking about. Sorry, I had to pull away there to talk to somebody here in the place. One of my family members. We'll be getting to this if that's what you're talking about. Oh, Wolf. PC, buddy. Yeah. No, this is New Order. So this is not if that's what you're thinking about. It's not the old school Wolfenstein. This is one of the newer Wolfenstein games. Um, but you might be talking about this one. I can't remember when it was published. New Order. Hold on. Look, they've got ratings up here now on the games. That's great. So this is the game right here. This is the one that's free right now. It's on Epic Game Store and it's for PC. Yeah, for PC. So, but it's a free game, man. Free game. So this is one of the newer Wolfenstein games. When did it release? This says 9921, but I think that's just on Epic. I hate that they do that. Here, hold on. And we're talking about a game that you would pay 20 bucks for on Steam that you can get for free right now. Yeah, it came out in May of 2014. That's its initial release date. But free game, man. Free game. Okay, let's keep going here. We're gonna be going long in news today. We've already talked about this. The Grit, for it's a battle royale blockchain type game coming to Epic. Yo, I wanna play this so much. The new Stray game looks actually cool, man. You're just like running around doing kitty parkour around the city and stuff, and it looks really neat. It looks really neat. I want to play it. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to dive into this. Early access has been good for a majority of developers. The thing that's tough to see is whenever a game just never works its way out of early access, right? It'll just be early access forever. There needs to be a set point where you're going, okay, this is what the full game was supposed to be. We'll continue to release content for it, but it doesn't need to stay in early access forever. Ex World of Warcraft developers unveil a game and deal with. Let's take a look at that. We already hit on this. What we're kind of be most of I think what we're going to see in the Summer Games Fest today showcase is going to be already announced games, but we're going to get better looks at a lot of those games, right? We have a lot of articles right now, so try to get to these pretty quick. We've hit on that. We've already got an article up regarding China. Apparently, they've given 60 new um, approvals for games to be released, but none of those approvals were for the two major gaming devs out of China, which is a little wild. And what I'm wondering is if China's upset that those gaming devs are taking a stance at trying to move out. What, you don't like the news, man? We've been gone for a day, dude. It's going to be a long one. And we got a lot of showcases today, too. So, yeah, what's up, Pinky? Yeah, we already had some deep discussion today between Gamer, myself, and Mr. Lil Bat. So we were going for a minute there on some ranting. Not really ranting, fleshing out some different gaming situations. Ooh, One Touch reinvents video game classic in Raiden. Dude, Raiden was a sick game. All right, last page. Yeah, we talked about Diablo Immortal, dude. Yeah, yeah. I don't need to hit on it anymore today. I don't think. What a scam, dude. Talked about that. We've talked about this kind of stuff. We've talked about this and this and this and this. Yeah. All right, we're about to move on. Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes demo release. We'll take a look at that real quick. Let's hit on these. Gollum coming out in September. We'll probably play that actually. All right, let's go. We've got let's see, 10 o'clock for the first showcase today. We're basically going to be showcasing all the way through the day today. So starting at about 10. VR showcase. Summer Games Fest. Is Devolver the one we have to hit on tomorrow? Well, I'll take another look after we finish all these articles. Yep, that's not the title. Ex-World of Warcraft developers unveil game and deal with Twitch stars. In the summer of 2005, 21-year-old Chris Kaliki started a World of Warcraft guild called Notorious. While sharing player feedback about the game online, he attracted the attention of Blizzard developers, who hired him to work on WoW. 16 years later, Kaliki, having left Blizzard in 2020 and still acting guildmaster of Notorious in 2021, hired some of his former colleagues and guildmates to a studio of the same name that he co-founded alongside former Blizzard gameplay engineer Doug Fraser. What's not bad? Talking about Diablo Immortal? Bleaky 37 and Notorious Studios announced Wednesday they're making a fantasy role-playing game internally, codenamed Project Honor, inspired by J.R.R. Tolkien and Warcraft, that will feature mages and warriors. Popular Twitch streamers, including Asmongold, S-Fan, and Miskiff, will get to playtest the game in its early... sorry. Oh, my bad, dude. I totally missed that. Oh, for real? You tried the Hellsinger demo. Nice, dude. Nice. Oh, really? So it's changing like... So as the music changes, it changed the way that you interact with the beat and everything in the game? Yeah, thanks, dude. Sorry. I was so focused on reading these articles. There's no set release date. It's cool side note, like, oh, these guys actually like each other, as fan who has over 1 million Twitch followers said of how Notorious was formed by WoW Guild members. As fan flew to California and made a playtest an early version of the game. Notorious is talking about its game early in hopes of attracting more employee applicants and building a fan base in waiting. Okay, the beats per minute stays the same, but as the music gets more intense, I tend to lose actual beat I'm supposed to follow. Yeah, that feels weird. Yeah, if the tempo is like increasing and decreasing, you would figure that like the way you're working with the beat would do the same thing, right? But it doesn't? That's kind of odd. Huh. Okay. Thanks for the feedback, dude. Yeah, I mean, because that's obviously a game we're trying to keep up with and we're going to test out and stuff like that. So, that's good to know, dude. Thank you. That's weird. Um, Quote, it's unprecedented to talk about a game at this stage of development, Kaliki said. Traditionally, it can be seen as high risk, as other studios could copy your idea too. You're setting all these expectations that the player is going to have. If you change them, they're going to be upset. We're definitely trying to something new here, but it's driven us by us wanting to have this connection with the player early on. I think that's great. I think that's great. Kaliki Studio is anything but traditional. The venture capital backed gaming studio has investors like Galaxy Interactive, Riot Games, and One True King, a Texas-based influencer company. OTK has an undisclosed minority investment in Notorious, apart from the $5 million the studio raised back in October. Okay. When Notorious debuted in October, it also drew scrutiny for hiring no women. We read about this. Kotaku, the video game news outlet, mocked the studio for having more dogs than women on their website staff page. Kaliki envisions the current team of 13 men will grow to 40 to 50 employees as it develops Project Honor, and said he hopes to course correct. Studio hasn't hired any women yet. That is totally fair to say, and it's true. Even today, we haven't hired a woman yet to the team, Kaliki said. Something we're working on. We've experienced an insanely competitive market for new hires. One thing I'm happy about is just that talent from underrepresented backgrounds are in really high demand, and the industry recognizes the value in that. As part of OTK's partnership, streamers like Asmongold and S-Fan, who have made careers out of playing and critiquing WoW, will try the game and give feedback. Uh, as a dev, I have my own perspective on product, but when I don't have is 40 plus hours a week to just play games, said John Liberto, lead designer at Notorious. Streamers are sensitive to some things that, as devs, we may not consider, and they're able to single out often very specific things about game feel and articulate them in ways that can often be difficult to find us elsewhere. I agree. I mean, what used to happen was there used to be, it feels like, a lot more actual testers on staff that would just sit there and play, you know, iterations of the game through development to give that kind of feedback. But it doesn't feel like that's happening very much anymore. I constantly come across games that, you know, aren't bad by any means, but there are definitely things I see where I'm like, how did they like overlook this? You know, how did the devs miss this? This definitely should have been something that they should have seen, you know, and I mean, that makes a lot of sense. They're just working on creating the game. They're not always being able to spend even, you know, moderate time playing the game themselves, you know, and to get outside perspective is on what the gameplay does well and maybe needs improvement on is a very critical element in my opinion. I mean, it can be attributed to the same thing as writing code, right? Anybody that's done any kind of code writing, you write your code, you look at your code all the time, and you'll end up with syntax errors, but you can't see it, right? It'll take somebody else a minute. They'll look at your code and go, oh, it's right there. And it's really something, you know, it's that kind of thing. Getting outside perspective is often, you know, a hugely beneficial thing. Having that perspective so directly available is a powerful asset for creativity, for sure. Uh, While OTK won't be involved in day to day development, the group plans to provide quality assurance testing for the game, give feedback on whether it's entertaining, and promote the game to fans, according to Tips Out, Chief Operating Officer of OTK, who declined to share his real name due to privacy concerns. Um, the reason we're investing in them. No, you're not late, dude. You've been here. You've been here. Uh, you mean just late saying hi or whatever? Don't even trip, dude. It's all good. Getting wrecked on Fortnite. The reason why we are investing in them is because we view them to also be people that have their finger on the pulse of what people want in games, what they think is the best decision in design. Said Asmongold. Ultimately, we're streamers. They are game designers. That's what they do. We give our insight. They take from that what they want, for sure. Notorious developers describe Project Honor as an action based combat PC game focused on classes that can be played in an immersive world with a splash of danger. They were careful to couch that the game isn't a massively multiplayer online game, despite having many of the same trappings. Players versus player versus environment experiences, combat systems, and adventures. As a small indie studio would have difficulty supporting a large MMO. Yeah, we want orcs and we want elves and we want big burly barbarian warriors. We want magic to be this powerful force in the world, Liberto said. We want it to be to permeate the world. We want the world to feel like the people in it have lived in this reality that is not new to them. A mage popping off a magic missile is not going to surprise anybody. As for things, yeah, let's see. Notorious is one of several gaming studios, including Second Dinner and Moonshot, founded by former Blizzard employees. Workers at these studios and across the gaming industry have reckoned with their former employer, Activision Blizzard, facing a deluge of harassment lawsuits and government investigations. Okay, well, we'll keep tabs. We'll keep tabs. See what comes with this title. Cool, 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 cool. Um, One Touch reinvents video game classic in Raiden Metal Burst. Dude. Raiden. What a great arcade game. Mobile-first games developer One Touch has released its latest title, Raiden Metal Burst. Exciting video slot which has been purpose-built to deliver a retro gaming experience. 1 second, guys. Sorry. The thrilling release delivers fast-paced, combative gameplay, with the popular Raiden series being at the forefront of the title's design. This gives a nostalgic audio-visual experience, with the iconic Raiden jet featured at the bottom of the screen and the Unknown Pollution song from Raiden 5 kicking off the free spins mode. Raiden is a well-known game series that was first introduced to players as an arcade game in 1990. Since its inception, the series has resonated strongly with players, with new releases still attracting the attention of gamers across the world. In keeping with the style of the original series, Raiden Metal Burst invites players to destroy enemy crafts by landing stacked metal symbols, which stop on the rails, offering big payouts. The enemy crafts become metal symbols, a mechanism seen in the original Raiden games, yeah. When 3 or more reels are filled with the metal symbols, players will be offered free spins, during which all enemy craft symbols are replaced with metal symbols. To dish out even larger wins, an exclusive full reel wild symbol fills the 3rd reel and sticks to it until the end. To heighten the experience, a Raiden fighter craft takes off when free spins are triggered, giving players a fascinating surprise and a throwback to the original Raiden games. Matthias Rouse, head of One Touch, said, "We're extremely excited to have launched Raiden Metal Burst, a bold release which encompasses features from the well-known Raiden game series. With an enhanced free spins mode, players are in for a treat. We're confident that the new release will deliver an exciting gaming experience, will resonate highly with players who were fans of the original series." Cool, man. Raiden games were always really cool. Always really cool. Nice kind of like flying bullet hell kind of games, you know. Pretty neat. Like forward scrolling, you know. Shush your mouth. Shush. Okay, Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes demo release. New trailer reveal. Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes has revealed a new trailer that announced both a demo on Nintendo Switch is available as of today, as well as confirming the fact that the members of the Ashen Wolves from Fire Emblem 3 Houses, Yuri, Bathos, Happy, and Constance, will be in the upcoming video game from Koei Tecmo's Omega Force. Players will also be able to carry progress over from the demo to the full game when it launches for Switch on June 24th. There you go. That's cool, man. That's cool. You hate to have to like play through a demo and then like play through the exact same content when the game releases, right? So that's cool of them to do that. The Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes demo specifically includes the full first 3 chapters of the video game through Edelgard's Scarlet Blaze Path, Dimitri's Azure Gleam Path, and Cloud's Golden Wildfire Path. Also supports local 2-player co-op, which allows 2 different player-controlled characters to run amok on any given battlefield. You can check out the new trailer for Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes for yourself embedded below. Let's check it out real quick.
The point is that I'm here to guide you. And I promise to help you find the strength.
Where did you get that power?
To see your dreams realized.
We're gonna win. For a new Fodlan. One that'll go down in the history books as the best ever. Let's do this, Wolves. What are you staring at? Come on, shady lady.
Stop calling me that!
You need me?
Stop calling me that!
Think you can take on Lester's king of grapplings? Let's get fired up, Happy!
You always seem
Only had
so
Wolverine
uneasy.
flaws.
Don't say I didn't warn you.
Let's get to it.
Attack!
Everyone, to arms!
Thank you. I had a good time today.
How many times have we fought now? Either way, this will be the last.
This isn't a fight you can win. Get out of there!
I will fight with all my strength and spirit. for the future, even for humanity.
What if all this was just some horrible mistake? What if there was another way we could have solved all this?
I am not here to answer all you ask.
Whatever you're planning, I'm gonna stop it.
We must now send the whelp to an early grave.
I will protect you all. You can win this fight. I know you can.
Cool. There you go. Could be some fun, especially doing a little bit of co-op stuff there, yeah, if you're into Fire Emblem Warriors stuff, or if it just looks nice. While the gameplay in Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes is certainly different from Fire Emblem 3 Houses' story is relatively familiar thanks to how it sets the whole thing in motion, which the demo should include. Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes centers on a single core conceit that changes the way in which the rest of the narrative plays out. Instead of finding the mercenary Byleth and then becoming a professor at Garreg Monastery, the academy around which Fire Emblem 3 Houses largely takes place, the leaders of the, well, 3 Houses, Eldegard, Dimitri, and Claude, instead encounter Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes protagonist Shez while trying to escape bandits in the forest. It's essentially the same encounter and pursuant fight, but the new protagonists make all the difference in the long run. As noted above, Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes is set to release for the Switch on June 24th. Video game follows a different version of the story from Fire Emblem 3 Houses. So there you go. If it even looks like something interesting, check out the demo. Try it out. It's available on the Switch. So check out Fire Emblem Warriors on the Switch. See if it might be something you're interested in. And if it is, then all your progress in the demo will carry over to the full game when you grab it, right? So that's cool. 1 second. All right, sorry. What is multi-threaded rendering in video games? All right, we learns ourselves up right now. Many modern games like Destiny 2 and Fortnite are taking advantage of multi-threaded rendering. This setting can be beneficial or detrimental for a game's frame rate, depending on what's being played. Basic summary of multi-threaded rendering is that it splits the drawing work between multiple threads, hence its name. This helps improve a CPU's performance if it has 4 or more cores. Here's the thing. So, cores and threads usually have a correlation, but usually what happens is the more cores you have in a processor, in a CPU, the more threads you also have, right? So usually there's roughly about 1.5 to 2 threads available per core of a CPU, right? Like for instance, I'll just bring up a, this is the 5900X, which we have in our rig here on this channel, right? And you're talking about a 12 core, 24 thread processor, right? Here, I'll so you'll see 12 core, 24 thread processor, right? You have some other Intel processors that are like you'll see them where it's not always double. There'll be like an 8 core 12 thread, stuff like that. But ultimately, the more cores you have, the more threads you usually have to work with and stuff like that, right? So moving on. Basic summary, if the CPU is weak, it can hinder performance, causing problems like hitching and low FPS. If you don't see a multi-threaded rendering option in your settings, it's likely because your CPU doesn't have enough cores to run the feature. You can check how many cores your CPU has through your system's task manager in the Performance tab. Multi-threaded rendering explained. As mentioned above, multi-threaded rendering separates the drawing work between multiple threads. This feature requires a multi-core CPU to function. Just make parallel processing a thing. Yeah. Well, I think that technology is definitely coming along as far as like we're starting to see some CPU games come out now with newer technology as far as cutting out some of that middleman processing, like the direct storage stuff that is coming out with a lot of Microsoft. That's Microsoft's new technology, right? So it bypasses a lot of that middleman processing that used to have to happen, and it basically just takes everything just directly goes straight from like memory into the GPU and stuff like that without having to, it like bypasses the processor altogether if it doesn't need that to happen. So there's definitely advancements coming, you know, and who knows, we might get there, man. Rendering can be a difficult task for systems. Yep. Separating the amount of work between many threads allows for an acceleration in the rendering process. How great the effect is depends on the number of cores the CPU has and its overall strength. If the proper specifications aren't met, multi-thread rendering could backfire and hinder other functions. Obviously, I mean, that's the way technology works. I'm not going to continue reading this. Should multi-threaded rendering be on or off? It's going to depend on how intensive the game is. There will probably be recommendations on any game that comes out that has multi-threaded rendering as an option. It'll say if you have this many core, it'll give you like a list of processors. Probably it'll be like if you have these processors, then you should turn multi-threaded rendering on. There will be references like that online and stuff like that. So that's what it is. That's what it is. But the further we get along in technology, the more they're making use of what a lot of modern technology, especially you know within PCs and the higher end consoles and stuff, have available, right? Which is what we want for sure. And again, not that direct storage has anything to do with threads or anything like that, but like Pinky said, you know, parallel processing is something that we're talking about information flow both ways, right? Pinky, that's what you're getting at. Information flowing at the same time both ways, stuff like that. Full parallel. But direct storage, I mean, there are things coming. Direct storage is significant for decreasing load times, significant decrease in load times apparently, and just getting away from a lot of the processing that isn't necessary for certain parts to be, you know, certain pieces of hardware to be a part of. If you're not familiar with direct storage, go take a look. It's coming out on, what is the game being released in October? It got delayed from earlier this year. I can't think of the name of it. It's the first. Yo, Timon, what's up, dude? Hey, I spent about 30 less than that filling up my tank with gas yesterday with fuel. It was actually, I haven't done a whole lot of driving this winter time. My car is usually put up a little bit, but yeah, I went and I had some out of town appointments and stuff yesterday. That's why the stream was down, and I ended up. It's good to see you, by the way, Tinwin. How are you, buddy? I had to get fuel for the first time in like months, and I only have like 15-gallon tank on my car. I mean, that's about. It's not like, but that's about what it took. But it took about 14 gallons for me to fill up, and we're talking like $70 US, dude, to fill it. Which I have to put higher octane in my car, so that makes a little bit of a difference. But still, gas is crazy expensive. Oh, I bet, yeah, yeah. I drive a car that has a 5.7 liter V8 in it. There's no electric to it at all. It's just straight combustion, buddy. But I don't have to drive too much either. So my wife's car is actually a much more economical ride. Yeah, Flintstone's car is the way. Yeah, that might be where I get, dude. I'm not gonna be able to pay for gas too much longer. It reminds me of whenever I was living out in California, man, a while ago. And gas was up around $5 a gallon, you know, and it's just like, wow, it's crazy, man. Yeah, my wife's car is it's not electric, but it's just a it's an EcoBoost. So we get about like 30 miles to the gallon or something like that, which isn't too bad. And it's like it's a little 4-cylinder with a turbo on it. Yeah. Redneck? Look, this isn't a wife beater, dude. This is not a wife beater. This is a tank top, man. There's a difference, dude. If I was wearing like a wife beater, dude, I would say yeah, maybe a little bit redneck, but there's a big difference, dude, between a tank top and a what's considered a wife beater tank top. Okay, so I'll take offense, dude. I'm taking offense there. What do they actually call it? That's a horrible name for a shirt, wife beater shirt. That's what I always grew up referring to those as. What are they actually called, dude? That's a horrible name, and I'm just realizing that I shouldn't call them that. I don't know, dude. I like hats. I like summer tank tops and stuff, dude. So, well, yeah, but that's a horrible name to refer to those shirts as. I guess they're probably called tanks as well, right? Tank top, I guess. I don't know, dude. But big difference between like an actual summertime poolside tank top and the traditional like Hanes like white tight fitting under tank top that you would wear like under a dress shirt or something that has traditionally become the go-to look for the redneck kind of hillbilly kind of thing, like a big mustard stain on the front. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Hey, you're that's your opinion, dude. I think I look super hot, so I'm gonna stick with my opinion. It's getting warm, dude. I like tank tops. I don't know. Um, and I enjoy baseball caps too. Whenever I don't feel like messing with my hair and stuff. So, meet the YouTubers exposing the dark side of making video games. Yo, Timwin. Yeah, something usually worn by wife beaters. Yeah, yeah, I know, man. Yeah, I mean, there's usually a reason why something gets a slang term like that, right? Yeah, for sure. We're gonna be watching a bunch of showcases today, man. If you want to hang out, all the ones that are kind of available during our stream time. So Summer Games Fest, all that stuff. Yeah. Ripping sleeves off your shirts. No, you know what? Uh, I've got some shirts that like I'll work out in and stuff, Mr. Little Bat, that were like old T-shirts that I liked, but I didn't wear them very much anymore, and I didn't want to get rid of them. So I like cut the sleeves off and just a little bit down the sides of them. I would like basically rip the sleeves off at the stitching and then just slid them down the sides a little bit more. So they were like nice workout shirts and stuff. So you're good, buddy. You're good. You're good, dude. Look, look. I'll say this, man. I'll say this. If you guys could meet some of the people from where I'm from, you would not be calling me a redneck. But I mean, it depends on what your let's look up the definition of a redneck here. All right, dude. All right, all right. A working class white person, especially a politically reactionary one from a rural area. Rednecks in the high cheap seats stomped their feet and hooted. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that reference. Dude. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Mr. Little Bat. Look, I hail from an area of the U.S. where if you saw some of the people from where I'm from, you wouldn't be calling me a redneck, man. No way. But inherently, because I am from part of that country, there's probably a little bit of a redneck in me, man. So I don't know. Embrace who you are, I guess. You know what I mean? It depends on what people's definition of redneck is, man. Like redneck or hillbilly. What's the difference? What's the difference between a redneck and a hillbilly? Let's check this out. The English language is full of. We're getting into something totally different from the news segment this morning. English language is full of slang and terms that originally meant one thing and changes their meanings as time passes. Two such words are redneck and hillbilly. The original meanings of these two words are different from how they are being used in the English language today. Both are being used to refer to people who are rough or have characteristics that are less desirable and whose attitude and demeanor are unpleasant and repulsive to others. They can mean other things too, which can be positive rather than negative. Yeah, gaming news, dude. Yo, Tim, what'd you say? Most offensive comment on Twitter towards me so far. I was commenting on some rumor that Valve will be on the Xbox Showcase. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the hope, and that's some of the rumors we've heard too. Xbox Showcase in a few days, yeah, on Sunday. Over how I was really looking forward to it, and someone randomly claimed that I only cared about the game because of the Microsoft transaction, and that I never actually played the games before that. As if I haven't spent a total of, well, look, man. Dude, I mean, you know this, and dude, the internet is just full of trolls, man, right? I mean, that's just something that we have to come to expect, and all I would do is probably like grab a screenshot of your total hours, combine them together, and then reply to that individual and go, yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? You clap back at them, dude. Stupid trolls. grab a show of how many hours you've spent in the games, man, and combine them together and throw it in there. Yeah. Well, yeah, for sure. But I mean that just goes to show. Look, I mean, people are always going to be just like trolling out in online. That's what they do, right? They don't need to have any kind of actual knowledge. They just are out there to try to like demean people and knock them down, and that is legit why we want this place to be different, right? But yeah, people just trolling, dude. Yeah, I get it, dude. I get it. Yeah. Yo, Debea, what's up, my friend? Yeah, gaming news. All right, let's finish this this very important gaming news about what's the difference between a redneck and a hillbilly. Both are being used to refer to people who are rough or have characteristics that are less desirable and whose attitude and demeanor are unpleasant and repulsive to others. They can mean other things too, which can be positive rather than negative. Redneck is defined as an offensive slang used to refer to any member of the white rural labor class who reside in the southern U.S. The term stems from the sunburned necks of white men who labor under the heat of the sun with the dust of the red earth clinging to their sweaty necks. In time, it came to refer to people who go against the usual flow of things and events, and is used by Southerners to identify them as different from others. It connotes independence and being pro-labor and anti-establishment. Can refer to a person with a conservative view, but can be racist. Tinwin, no being racist in here, Tinwin. All right? Be throwing out those terms like redneck, dude. You better be careful. Getting your hair done? Oh, make it with your best friend? Cool. Right on, Devea. That's awesome. Hillbilly, on the other hand, is defined as a disparaging word for a person without any sophistication who lives in a remote mountain area. Is used to refer to people who are socially backward, one who doesn't care about how he looks and how he lives. The term comes from the Scottish expression hilly folk and billy, which means guy or fellow. The Appalachian region's early inhabitants were originally originally from the lowlands of Scotland. Hillbilly is a person who lives a life that is cut from the modern world. He lives off of what he can get from the land and his surroundings, which are the mountains and forests. A redneck can either live in a rural area or the city, but chooses to live his life in an easy-go-lucky way. He is a few paces up on the ladder over a hillbilly. Both terms have negative meanings and connotations, but then redneck has a positive side to it. So you were just complimenting me, Tinwin. I had no idea. You were just complimenting me, man. That's it. I get it, dude. A redneck is a person who belongs to the white rural labor class who lives in the southern U.S., while a hillbilly is a person who lives in a remote mountain area. That's a good day, Devea. That's great. That's great. Both terms have derogatory connotations, referring to people who have no sophistication and who are undesirable characters. But a redneck is better than a hillbilly. The term redneck comes from the sunburned. Yep, we read that. Okay, so kind of fit the mold. I mean, look, man. As far as I would say some of the more positive connotations that come along with redneck, I wouldn't disagree with that. I was raised in a way, man. I was raised in a rural area of the southern Midwest part of the U.S. It was very much an upbringing where it was like you work hard for what you want, you work hard for what you need, and you be proud of that work that you do. You know. So as far as that's concerned, dude, I'll take it as a compliment. All right, Tinwin. And yo, hey, I do. If you're saying I fit the mold because you're calling me white, dude, I am biracial, dude. I just look white. All right. So chill out with the racist stuff. All right, let's go. Meet the YouTubers exposing the dark side of making video games. Yeah, I mean, that's actually good information, dude. I've never really, I've always heard, not specifically being aimed at me, but, you know, in the U.S., you hear those terms occasionally, you know, redneck or hillbilly or whatever. But I've never really known the difference between the two, you know what I mean? Devea, are you getting like significant stuff done to your hair, or are you just like getting your hair did? You're getting your hair did. Oh, it didn't let you post your last one? Just saying, let me see. See if I can see what it was. Are you talking about Just Ask My Wife? That's the only one I really see that didn't get allowed. After that, I didn't see it then. I don't know why it didn't allow it. Yep. We just actually finished reading that, Tinwin. We just actually finished reading that article. Yep. You came in right after we finished it, buddy. So People Make Games founder Chris Bratt is on a roller coaster, as many people would do in such a situation. He is screaming. Unlike your average roller coaster rider, however, he's screaming about how video game publishers clandestinely outsource intense labor to Southeast Asia. The scene captured on video is an unusual way for a company to promote its work, but it makes perfect sense for an outlet doing some of the most impactful video game journalism on the internet. A viewer-funded YouTube channel run by just 3 people, People Make Games needs fans to regularly contribute money via a membership platform called Patreon. Yeah. And on YouTube, few things grab attention as well as good old-fashioned stunt. Oh, yeah, no, that's fine. It didn't even come up. It didn't even come up as having me like moderated or anything. It did right then, Mr. Labatt, so I don't know why the other message didn't come up to have me moderate, but it considers it a word that can be used to bully. That's what it came up as. So that's probably why the first one didn't come through. I don't know why it didn't give it to me for moderation though. But that's what it came up as right there. If you put like hillbilly in chat, it thinks you're trying to bully somebody. So it has me like try to moderate it and see if I can if I want to allow it or not. Running people make games has proven to be a roller coaster in itself. Brat and Annie Sayers, a co-founder and artist for the channel, launched. Tinwin, what did you think about the Notorious stuff? You have any input on it, man? So far? A co-founder and artist for the channel launched the enterprise in 2018 with the intent of telling fascinating, untold stories about games and the gaming industry. Early videos focused on the curiosities like the first non-Valve created game on Steam and the British teenagers who helped make Star Fox. But recently, People Make Games has fried significantly bigger fish. Outsourcing scandals, exploitation of child labor in Roblox, and emotionally abusive indie game developers, including one whose studio collapsed immediately following PMG's reporting. The choice to tackle tougher material with rigor rarely seen on YouTube was a conscious one. I remember during the pandemic just really starting to question if this is what I wanted to do, if it was worthwhile when there's a pandemic ripping through the country. Brat said in an interview with the Washington Post. And I think part of it for me was doing things that had a bit more capital J journalism in them. Brat and Strayers, just a second, guys. Sorry, guys. In 2020, they added another games journalist to their ranks, former Rock Paper Shot game critic Quentin Smith. But YouTube as an ecosystem has proven more hospitable to sensationalism, misinformation, and drama than to heady, nuanced investigations of industries. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's basically anywhere that you can gather news, right? Anywhere that you can gather news nowadays, it's more about misinformation as far as whatever news source is putting that information out and kind of skewing it to follow more along the lines with whatever their the narrative is that they're trying to spin to people and get them to believe, right? And drama, of course. PMG often has to work to catch the eye of YouTube's algorithm, which means agonizing over clickable titles and designing grabby thumbnail images. In traditional journalism, if you're caught up with a headline, be some kind of nuance to it. You can lead people and create intrigue. If you do that on YouTube, people are like, I don't know what the F you're talking about, Sayer says. You have to kind of cheapen what you're doing a little bit. Just try to make sure that it gets through the lottery of different thumbnails and stuff like that. Yeah. Still, People Make Games has found a way to make its presentation fit the platform. The gentle yet arresting graphics Sayers creates lend a sense of emotion to, for example, quotes from anonymous sources or a comparison of Roblox's astronomical multi-billion-dollar market valuation to that of other video game companies. These important details might get lost in the clutter of a video composed of gameplay footage, but in a PMG video, they pop off the screen. Vox has really cool motion graphics, and it condenses complicated topics down in ways that visually keep the viewer engaged, said Myers of her inspiration. In video games coverage, there isn't really much of that. What are you guys saying? Varia, what's up? Really? You don't think there's any place for journalism within the gaming industry, the gaming world? I would disagree. I am interested. X-WoW devs and everything, and the concept sounds really interesting. Yeah. Till I see it in action. Yeah. I mean, that's the way we always feel. I mean, even just seeing, like, we need gameplay, right? We need to see gameplay. Even just seeing cinematic stuff is not worth getting hyped about. We talk about that quite often. Yeah, I mean, the hope is that it would be good, right? It's obviously more of like a small co-op game. It's not like an MMO or anything like that. It's like a little bit of. I think there's going to be like small co-op in it. Is that right, or did I misread that? But more aimed towards like campaign single player stuff. Are you referring to what I'm doing right now, Varya? You calling this a dumpster fire, buddy? No, I'm playing. Yeah, dude, that's. I mean, I wouldn't even know if necessarily there's. I would say there's a small place for it. I think journalism as a whole has become kind of a dumpster fire, right? Yeah. I know. I was just messing around, man. Um, I think it's just it's. I think what people need to start doing. I think across the human race, it's become a problem where um, instead of thinking critically about the things, the information that is being given to them, which is quite often news outlets, right, and journalism and stuff, it's quite often you see people just soak up that information and regurgitate it without actually thinking critically or researching how much of that information is credible, right? I think that's one of the biggest issues that we have. And that's why we continue to let journalism just kind of run amok and news reporting run amok with so much misinformation, right? Because people aren't doing their own due diligence to find out how much of that information they're being fed is actually worthwhile, factual representation of what is actually going on, whatever they're being exposed to, right? So I would say that I don't know that I would entirely agree that there's a small place for journalism in gaming. It's definitely not like worldwide news or anything like that, but the gaming industry is only continuing to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And as far as that's concerned, I feel like that only means that there's more of a place for journalism to kind of happen within the industry, right? Right. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's quite true. That's actually a great quote, Varia. That's a great quote, and it's very true. I think it's a huge issue today because people are, as the quote states, they're only informed about what they're being fed, and they're not actually taking into consideration that all that is other people putting out information that I mean you still need to vet stuff. You've got to take the time to make sure that whatever. That's why I will often tell people, you know, if there is a particular area of whatever that we get into and we start talking about, I will straight up tell you that I might not be the best, most educated person to be speaking on that subject because I'm not necessarily super informed on it. I'll be one of the first people to tell everyone that because I don't want people thinking that necessarily my opinion or my kind of uneducated take on a certain topic is something that should be regurgitated. I want people to expand their minds and really take the time to research things instead of just everything that I've been fed just comes right back out and without knowing whether it's actually factual information or not. Too many people do that. PMG's interview and research intensive approach is front and center in the recent series of videos about Roblox. Last August, a few months after Roblox went public with a $41 billion valuation, PMG published a video titled Investigation How Roblox is Exploiting Young Game Developers. We read this. I don't know if it was this particular article or not, but it was a really good article that delved into how the game platform allegedly convinces kids to make its games content while hoovering up over 75% of the profits. Yep. Roblox is one of the biggest video games in the world due to the large part of its popularity on YouTube. But as a result of its young demographic, many of its players are under 16. It's also a game that has benefited from minimal scrutiny. You know what kills me? I mean, even to the point of what you're talking about, Tinwin. Yeah. And that's another thing I try to, I often try to reiterate is like my viewpoint on how things work. I've never done game dev, right? So I'll quite often put like a bit of a disclaimer on when I'm talking about things that I feel like devs maybe should have done. I wasn't part of that process. I don't know how easy it would have been, why it was maybe overlooked, things like that, because I wasn't part of that development team and I've never created a video game. Just kind of like what I was talking about just a little bit ago. What is so crazy to me is that there are so many people that want to even talk about the gaming industry and community that have no idea what the difference is between a game developer and a game publisher. They like intermix the two, and that's one of the things that constantly just drives me crazy. Is like they'll refer to like, I saw it all the time while we were playing Lost Ark content. People would start blaming or start trying to like Amazon makes this game, and it's like no they don't. They're the publisher of the game, right? Like even to just like simple things like that, people have no idea what they're talking about. It's crazy, man. Mainstream journalism leaves the video. This is a quote. Mainstream journalism leaves the video game press to cover video games, but then the video games press didn't cover Roblox because of the snobbery, said Smith, driving force behind the Roblox video. And I include myself in that. It looks like dumb stuff for kids. PMG's video was a hit on YouTube, where most videos about Roblox focused on updates, in-game shenanigans, and memes, not comprehensive coverage of the developer's business model. To date, it's racked up nearly 2 million views. According to PMG, Roblox Corporation, the game's developer, did not respond to requests for comment before the first video posted. Afterwards, Smith said he exchanged emails and calls with Roblox Corporation, and that the company pressured the group to take down their video due to errors. Bratt, Sayers, and Smith said the company failed to specify the errors. Instead, Roblox Corporation sent what Bratt described as a completely random blog post of someone who felt very passionate about Roblox. In this email, which the post has viewed, Roblox's Senior Director of Corporate Communications and Public Affairs, William Nevius, links to the blog written by a Medium user named Echo Scratcher and asks Smith, do you plan on editing or removing the video based on some of the things the author raises? It was crazy for us to have this 40-plus billion company pointing toward a blog post, Bratt said, which had typos in it and got Smith's name wrong. It was also intimidating. Our reaction to the email was the kind of laughter you would do if you were also in the background worried, says Sayers. I think maybe it helped because in our second video, we were super conscious that clearly they're engaging with our work, and it drove us to be extra clinical. Yeah. I want to summarize this. We've got a lot to get to. Let's summarize this. I'll put this in chat so everybody can read it. In the future, the PMG team hopes to bring in outside voices, preferably ones who are not middle-class white guys, according to Brad, to tell their stories on a freelance basis. Everything is just, God, this world, man, and the fact that everything is based on differences is just so crazy, It's so sad, really. Everything is based on differences between people instead of us just embracing the things about us being different is what makes humanity great. It's always about the differences and how it makes us bad, It sucks. It really does. The idea of scaling up as a business and having a team of employees, I don't think is that exciting to any of us. Kind of like Timwin knocking me down for being a redneck earlier, It's like, I'm just different than you, bro. That doesn't mean I'm bad. But collaborating with other people who can tell stories either in different parts of the world or from a different perspective than we can feels like it will hopefully be a part of our future. That seems like an exciting next step. This is a very long article, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm going to throw it there in chat. Tim, I'm just memeing on you, dude. I'm just playing around. Best example, the whole Diablo Immortal fiasco, dude. We've hit on that this morning already too. None of the devs actually wanted those terrible MTX. Yeah, for sure. They're just creating the game, right? They didn't decide to have the worst cost for optimal play in the recent decade, but it was the top. Yeah, The tumor. Kotick. Dude, I was talking about Bobby Kotick this morning and how that fool needs to get ousted. The tumor Kotick, or even higher up, even though Kotick is like sitting at the top of Activision Blizzard ultimately. It is far from the devs' fault. Doubtful it was even Blizzard's fault. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Kotick, man, everything I know about that individual is that he's pretty scummy. Everything that I don't know him personally, but everything I've kind of read and found out about him is that he's kind of a scummy individual. And it seems anyways. Again, I don't know him personally. But he does seem to be one of the last kind of individuals hanging on atop Activision Blizzard from all the things that came to light about how terribly run that company is. And I ultimately think that when, because it does seem as if it's only a matter of time at this point for when Microsoft acquires Activision Blizzard, they need to oust him. They've got to tear it down, and they've got to revamp that entire company, man. As far as I can, my own assessment on all the information that I've gathered regarding that company, I think that's the best move that Microsoft can make going forward. And yo, Overthinker, you're good, buddy. You're good. But you're right. I mean, look, devs, it's just a matter of them making most of the time, you know what I mean? Making a game that they're part of the team and they're trying to, you know, create a nice gameplay experience. Whereas it's usually a whole different division within a company that goes, which, I mean, I would say that ultimately the devs knew at a certain point that that's the way the game was going to flow, right? But again, it's not anything they can really do anything about. I'm sure that some of them voiced their opinions and said, you know, this doesn't seem like a great way to go about incorporating mechanics in this game. But ultimately, yeah, it's going to be the higher ups that go, let's just charge everybody $100,000 to actually hit in-game, you know, items. Yeah. So it feels bad, dude. We've had a lot of discussion here recently, ultimately because of Diablo Immortal and all the pay-to-win mechanic that's been put inside of it. Terrible, man. Terrible. Yeah. China issues 60 new video game licenses, none for Tencent or NetEase. Before I dive into this, we just touched on this. How's your day going, Overthinker? Yo, you're good. You're good, Mr. Little Bat. It's always a pleasure, buddy. It's always a pleasure. Maybe we'll see you a little bit later. We're going to be watching a lot of showcases today, so maybe come hang out and see some of the new content coming out. You know, Tencent and NetEase are the two largest Chinese game devs out there. And basically what they decided to do since China started really getting heavy with these regulations and basically making it to where none of these developers could push out titles without getting approvals or licenses, right? Oh, you graduated yesterday. Yo, congrats, buddy. GG's. Congrats. Awesome, man. Yo, I'm super excited for you, buddy. Now you get to go grind out. Go start working, dude. But congratulations, Overthinker. That's great, buddy. So what Tencent and NetEase have made very apparent is that they're trying to pivot out into other parts of the world for their game development, right? So they're not just regulated within China with all this very restrictive stuff that started happening. And what I'm kind of thinking here is that because China is basically only giving out these like lump, it's like you won't hear anything from China's government for months. They won't be able to put out any kind, no devs within China will be able to put out any games, and all of a sudden they'll be like, it was like earlier on in the year there was like 40, right? And then we hadn't heard anything for months again. And now there's 60. We just hit on this the other day. Now today there's, or 2 days ago, because we didn't stream yesterday, right? Unfortunately. 60 new licenses, but nothing for Tencent or NetEase. And I'm wondering if China's government's going, hey, what, you want to leave and go start deving somewhere else, we're just not going to give you any more licenses coming out of China then, to kind of snub them out a little bit. I don't know. Absolute best I can imagine. So before I get into this article, let's see what chat's talking about. The absolute best I can imagine, this isn't a good thing, but the best case scenario. They knew that people overall weren't hyper interested for Immortal, yeah. So they decided, let's just use the game to boost stocks without hurting an actual valuable game. They slammed hardcore MTX on Immortal and threw it out to die. Possibly, dude. I mean, that's the thing that I keep thinking is like, there's no way they thought this was a good idea, right? Knowing it would suck, but it would be a desperate move. Because the thing that's crazy to me is that, like, apparently people really enjoy the gameplay, right? It's just the entirety of the pay-to-win mechanic that is really getting them slammed, right? So, I don't know, man. Everything that I've really kind of heard was that the gameplay experience is fine. It's enjoyable. It's entertaining. And so that's what I kind of keep thinking is like, what made them just? I mean, because dude, they sent it, dude. They did not hold back. They're like, if you want to be in game in this, you're gonna spend tens of thousands of dollars, right? Like, dude, that's. I mean, they are catering to just Wells at that point, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know exactly what the thought process was there, but it feels weird. Yeah. Well, and I mean, it's important to note. Games are being built more and more as a mobile first platform that also works very well on other platforms, right? I mean, you look at Genshin Impact, right? That's a very well developed game, though. I mean, we're talking about and it wasn't just developed as mobile, it was developed for PC mainly as well. And I think it's coming to consoles. Is it already on consoles? I can't remember. But we're starting to see more and more of that, right? Where games are no longer just being separated by like either you're a console PC game or you're a mobile game. Those lines are kind of being put together now, where a lot of games are also being developed in a way where it can be a mobile game and it can be a platform game as well, whether it be on console or PC or what have you, right? So, but yeah, I mean, ultimately, Diablo Immortal was definitely made for mobile, but there's a huge market for mobile as well, right? People love mobile games. Yeah, going to grind out for them pay to win, dude. Diablo Immortal, they sent it, dude. They did not hold back at all. Um, they just were like, yeah, I mean, as hard as you can go, pay to win, man. They're going for it. I don't know what the thought process was there, but I'd be really interested to find out. And maybe you're right, Tinwin. Who knows, man? Um, Again, all I can hope is that really Microsoft goes in and really changes the direction that the Activision Blizzard has been. Uh, I mean, they've been on forever. Not just internally with the toxic, work environment stuff, but just the way they've gone with a lot of these titles and stuff like that. I really hope that Microsoft does a good job. I think they will. Um, Varia, interesting balance. Maybe Tencent hasn't given their kickbacks, or I mean, for sure. Well, and I would say that could be part of the reason they haven't given kickbacks, because they're obviously branching out into other parts of the world at this point, right? So they're like, we'll just go dev somewhere else. Yeah, it could be a very like hush hush kind of battle going on there for sure. How dare you neglect China? On the other hand, China clearly regards gaming beyond modest limits, at least culturally bad. Yeah, for sure. I I think they are encouraging it to happen abroad without publicly encouraging it, right? I think it's very apparent that they are culturally against it, and they're going to really maintain a really tight hold on what anything gaming coming out of China has to do. Yeah. So there's probably there's a lot of it seems apparent on a lot of those. Uh the less gaming is focused on China, the better. Can you elaborate? What exactly do you mean, Tinwin? Um June 7th, Hong Kong. China's gaming regulator on Tuesday granted publishing license to 60 games in a move likely to bring relief to a sector bruised by a regulatory crackdown and a lengthy suspension of gaming approvals. I don't think any approvals had gone out since what? February or March from China? National Press and Public Administration published the June list on its website on Tuesday, which included titles belonging to developers such as Perfect World and MiHoYo. MiHoYo is a very well-known developer as well. 1 second, guys. Sorry. Okay. Other titles included mostly smaller budget games such as Jurassic Army by Shanghai EU-Game and Kitten's Courtyard by Beijing Object Online Technology. The list, however, did not contain titles belonging to the industry's biggest players such as Tencent Holdings and NetEase. Still, Tencent's American depository receipts gained more than 1.54% following the news. NetEase also saw shares rise nearly 1.35% in pre-market trading in New York. Also did not include any foreign titles, extending the dry spell for imported video games to 12 months. Timwin, thanks. I'll read that in just a moment. Let me finish this article and then I'll read that. The June list comes over a month after the last batch of licenses was announced on April 30th. The NPPA did not publish a list in May and has not given a reason why. Prior to April, Chinese regulators stopped approving game monetization licenses for nearly 8 months, heavily impacting Tencent and NetEase and putting thousands of firms in the industry out of business. That pause coincided with a move by China in August to impose new gaming time limits on under 18s, an intervention it said was needed to pull the plug on a growing addiction to what state media once described as spiritual opium. Now, the only way they're, let's be very clear here, the only way they're able to regulate the time limits on under 18s, and specifically what it is anybody under the age of 18 can only engage in online gaming for an hour on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They can't engage in online gameplay Monday through Thursday, and they get 1 hour of online gameplay Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Okay? Now, they can't really regulate any kind of offline gaming, right? But most games nowadays are tied to some kind of online environment. So, let me read what Timwin had to say here. They have cracked down big time, and we had a discussion about this recently where, I mean, culturally, it definitely feels like they are absolutely against gaming. I mean, with the restrictions on having to give out licenses as the government sees fit, right, for any kind of game coming out of China to be published, as well as trying to they are heavily restricting gameplay for any individuals under the age of 18, right? So, Chinese audience, as big as it is, and its heavy preference for mobile games, yeah, I mean, that's the eastern part of the world, right? We're much more hesitant to adopt mobile as like a main gaming platform as it is in the eastern hemisphere of the world, for sure. One of the main reasons to why mobile games have become as big as they are, not the only reason, mind you, but one of the major ones. Yeah, for sure. As well as their acceptance of MTX games. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean, again, the western part of the world is kind of has always had a bit of a different view as far as a lot of that kind of stuff is concerned. Mobile gaming is not as big here as it is in the Eastern Hemisphere. Same thing, and like you said, with acceptance of MTX and cash shops and stuff in games, there, it's we are consensus in the West traditionally more against that kind of stuff, right? Yeah, you're absolutely right, dude. Um, GameStop's got a sale right now. Yeah, I mean, I'm the same way, dude. We talk about it a lot here in the news segment, right? Oh yeah, for sure, Varia. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 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 for sure. Uh huh. Because everything's evil. We're all evil, dude. Yeah. Where's that emote, dude? Here we go. There we go. Western gaming, right there. The Western world, dude. The Western world, just evil. They weren't exactly amused by the whole opium wars thing. Yeah. So, yeah, Tim. I mean, we talk about that a lot, man. Yeah, it's very exploitive, and that's why I try to educate quite often, in this channel when that topic comes up. It's like, mobile gaming, for the most part, premise-wise, is built around pay to play, pay to win, gotcha mechanics, things like that. And not that there haven't been games that have incorporated it in ways that you can still be free to play, but they're quite often heavily skewed that way, right? And my big thing is trying to teach people that it's and I mean, you even see it across the world now. Like Diablo Immortal was not allowed to be released in what was it? Belgium, or not Belgium? That's capital of France. Isn't that the capital of France, or is Paris? I can't remember. I'm terrible with geography. Was it Belgium and the Netherlands? What's Belgium at? Guys, help out the U.S. pleb, dude. Uh, I think it was Belgium is a country, right? Yeah. Dude, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Yeah, it was Belgium and France that it got. Why was I thinking that Belgium was part of France for some reason? I don't know, dude. I'm terrible. Sorry, guys. What an idiot. But anyways, yeah, I think it was Belgium and the Netherlands that Diablo Immortal got banned out of because of the loot box stuff, because of the pay to win, right? And there are a lot of other. Spain is on board. There are a bunch of countries, man, that are really pushing to not allow any of that kind of stuff within their borders, right? From controlling it at a governmental level, sorry for being dumb about geography. I'm the worst, dude. Um, so I don't know, man. And we've had that discussion here recently too. It's like, when is it like an infringement on rights? As far as like telling people they can't spend their money on what they want to spend, and because there are always going to be those people, there's going to be two sides to it, right? People feel like, yo, it's my money, why shouldn't I be able to spend it where I want to spend it? And then there are those people that can't help it but spend money and get caught up in those kinds of mechanics. They're kind of gambling addicts, and the company's trying to keep their people safe, right? Mario. Right on. Yeah. I don't know why I was like thinking Belgium was like a city in France there for a second. I'm a dumb dude. How close is Belgium to France, anyways? Yeah, I thought they're pretty close. Yeah, shares a border. That's probably why I was getting confused there for a second. Um, But yeah, both Netherlands and Belgium banned it out. Spain's all against it. There's like what I think about 16 to 18 countries at this point that have kind of like hopped on this train of not allowing loot box stuff, and there's been a big call for the U.S. to start trying to regulate things as well. Yeah, thanks, Varya. Thanks. The more you know, dude. I'm an idiot, but always trying to learn, so I'll take that hit. GameStop buy two get one free sale includes Switch exclusives and more popular games. Let's just see what's going on right now. Best deals at GameStop. Back 4 Blood, 16. Bravely Default 2, $10 off. Call of Duty Black Ops, 15 off, or $44 US. This is all US, okay? Control Ultimate Edition, $30. Disco Elysium, 24. Final Cut. Dude, you can get Disco Elysium Final Cut. Right on fire. Disco Elysium Final Cut. You can get this right now on, what was it, Epic or Steam? Or maybe it was GOG. It might be GOG right now for like $14 for the Director's Cut edition. So I don't know if you want to get it off of. I guess it depends on what platform too, though, right? Fire Emblem 3 Houses, 50. I don't know. There you go. If you're interested, buy two get one free though is the big deal here, right? Buy two get one free sale. So if you're interested, while each individual sale probably isn't quite as good as what you'll find on like a lot of eShops right now, the fact that you can get two of these and get another one free might actually make that worthwhile. So take a look, guys. Take a look. Forza 5's first expansion will be Hot Wheels, according to a Steam leak. Promotional image for the expansion was briefly shown on the game's store page. As spotted by Reddit user Autumnal Leaves, the image reveals that the first expansion pack will be based on Hot Wheels. Yeah. Yo, random emote time, guys. Let's go. Try to get your free sub. Oh, man, I got a Sag. But that's a great emote, dude. The Lil Z, that little puppers. I like that, dude. For a brief period, the store page for the Forza Horizon 5 Premium Add-ons bundle included a header image that said includes expansion 1. Again, guys, if you already have a sub, look right there on screen. Oh, nice. Right over my face, dude. If you guys already have a sub, yeah, happy Pride, dude, for sure. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. If you already have a sub, still play. Because I'll put you in a list for winning, and I'll give you a sub as soon as your current sub runs out, okay? So play the random mode game. I actually won a few days ago, man, and gave out a sub. It was awesome. First time I had one. For a brief period, the store page for the Forza Horizon 5 Premium Add-ons bundle included a header image that said, includes expansion 1, accompanied by artwork showing a Hot Wheels car going over a loop. The image was quickly removed, but an archived version of the page shows what it looks like. Presence of the image suggests that the first expansion's reveal is imminent, most likely at either the Summer Games Fest presentation later today or the Xbox and Bethesda Game Showcase on Sunday. Isn't the first time Forza and Hot Wheels have teamed up. Second expansion pack for Forza 3 was also Hot Wheels themed and took players to a separate open world area made out of stunt track pieces. Also added 10 DLC cars, including classic Hot Wheels cars scaled up to the size of regular cars. Okay. There you go. Cool. So, looks like the next expansion is probably going to be Hot Wheels for Forza Horizon 5. Moving on. The company we all love. Let's make sure that that's very clear. Good old EA. EA denies report that Battlefield 2042 development is winding down. We are committed to the future. The publisher has hit back against claims that the shooter is running on a skeleton crew. EA has hit back at claims that Battlefield 2042, which has apparently been an absolute crap show, man, is now running on a skeleton crew and running rushing out promised content so that it can move on to the next entry. The response comes following comments made by journalist Jeff Grubb during his Grub Snack show. This game is basically down to a skeleton crew, he told his Twitch viewers during the stream. It's down to like the bare bones, and those people are specifically just working on the promised additional seasons that the game needs to get to meet the requirements of the high-end version it sold. He continued, the skeleton crew is working to pump that stuff out at the fastest and cheapest way it possibly can. There's no other way to say it. Grubb added that those who had paid for the premium editions should set their expectations very low for this content, saying that EA is, quote, just going to get it out fast and dirty, and then the idea is the reason they're doing this is to move everyone to the next battlefield as quickly as possible. It's abandoned ship time. Because doing another one will fix everything, right? A few hours after the stream concluded, Grubb tweeted that EA had reached out to him to tell him that his comments were untrue. There is a significant team across studios focused on evolving and improving the Battlefield 2042 experience for our players. And at the heart of that is our team at DICE, the statement continued. We are committed to the future of Battlefield 2042 and our areas of focus for the game based upon what we have heard from our players was laid out in our recent development update. Grubb followed up EA's response with one of his own. If you hear two stories about what is happening, look for the space where both things are true. He also added that he would be talking more about it in an upcoming Giant Bomb podcast. Battlefield 2042's first season lands today, June 9th. Brings a new map and battle pass with a new specialist who will thankfully be unlockable on the free track. That's good. Its release should be good indicator of what's to come. Perhaps a better look at whose side of the story is more accurate. Okay. Well, we'll see how this progresses. Yeah. This game's been everything that I've found out about. I haven't even played it, but everything I know about Battlefield 2042 is that it's been pretty terrible from the start. So, I don't know. I guess I also would not be surprised to see EA go, just kill it. Let's start another one. Let's just create another bad version of Battlefield. And we'll have people buy that one, you know? EA. Facebook Gaming brings Creta's user-generated games to its cloud platform. Creta, a platform that lets players create, share, and play games with friends, is coming to Facebook Gaming's cloud streaming service. Collaborative game building platform is built on Unreal Engine 4 and features a library of thousands of player-made games users can browse or add to with their own creations. While Creta shares the element of game creation with Roblox, also takes some cues from Fortnite, with the most obvious being its bright cartoonish art, also has rotating seasons, offers a battle pass, lets users customize their own avatars. But probably one of the coolest and most unique things about Creta is that it lets you share a game with just a single link, allowing your friend to hop right in from their browser. Okay. I'm going to have to start skimming through some of these a little bit more. New segments going long. We've got showcases coming up and everything, so I'm going to start trying to blast through these a little bit. As if its new name couldn't make it any more obvious, Meta really wants to be at the center of the metaverse, like really bad. While the company already acquired the virtual reality company Oculus and has since rebranded its product under the Meta name, Creta represents a smaller but still significant investment meant to further establish Meta as a metaverse company. Whatever that really means, thank you. Meta's social VR platform, Horizon Worlds, reached 300,000 users earlier this year, and the companion app to Meta's Oculus Quest 2 headset ranked in over 2 million downloads during the holidays. The whole reason, I am against that company and Facebook and basically everything they stand for. So I will stay up to date with news regarding gaming and whatever they're doing. But I personally just am not somebody that feels like I can support anything that has to do with that company at this point in time. So I will stay away from anything that has to do with Meta. It's really Facebook. Call it whatever you want to call the company. It's still Facebook. And unfortunately for somebody in my position that feels this way about this company, Oculus is a very good headset, but I would opt out of purchasing anything to support this company for at least currently. Everything I know about this company is that they're very super scummy and evil, and as if they couldn't pivot into a name that made them sound any more evil. Meta. I don't know, dude. I don't know. That's just me. Do your own research. Find out all you can about the company that is Meta and Facebook, and make your own educated opinion upon that. Okay. We could talk about and look at research for ever regarding what that company has done and been kind of scummy, and but do your own. Inform yourselves. Xbox and Bethesda Showcase preview, the next year of Microsoft gaming. We're going to skim this. We've already talked a lot about what we're potentially going to see here. This is coming on Sunday. We will be watching it in the channel. Big showcase is expected to run between 60 and 90 minutes, featuring games from its sizable homegrown studio stable alongside some big third-party publisher reveals. Microsoft is aiming to primarily feature games set to launch within its next fiscal year, which would be through like March of 2023, right? Giving Xbox fans a much-needed definitive roadmap of upcoming content for the Xbox Series X and S consoles. Microsoft is also gunning for real gameplay over CGI or pre-rendered videos too, following criticism of previous shows. Thank you. That's what we all want to see, is give us gameplay. We can't tell anything that's actually going to be what we would experience within a game by looking at cinematics, other than what we would be exposed to as far as cutscenes within a potential game, right? Yeah, there's been a lot of predictions so far about what is potentially going to be in the showcase. Now, Microsoft Bethesda Showcase is happening on Sunday, right? Then there's an extended Xbox Showcase happening. Oh, yeah, right here. Extended June 14th Showcase for Xbox specifically, okay? And we'll be watching both of them. Okay. This is talking about some of the things you potentially see from some of their devs. Compulsion, upcoming studio, lot to prove. Known for We Happy Few, currently working on a game codenamed Midnight. Haven't we seen what this is? Yeah, I think we've read about that a little bit. Also, Tango, which did Evil Within, right? And Ghostwire Tokyo. Appears that Tango is known to be incubating its first non-horror title. Okay. Please bring Evil Within 3. Or Double Fine for Psychonauts 2. Double Fine has been linked to Banjo IP. Chance we could see Rare show off future content for Sea of Thieves. Yeah, one studio you'll almost certainly hear from in a big way is Obsidian. We've all kind of been hearing that we're probably going to see some Avowed stuff, because apparently there's a good chunk of that game that is actually in a playable state at this point. And so many of us lovers of the Pillars games want to see this, and it's been a while. All we've really seen is basically cinematics, little bit of gameplay stuff, not much though. So it'll be good to see that. I think there's a really good chance for that. Obsidian may also be on deck to showcase Grounded 1.0 and attach a final launch date for the early access survival game alongside Permanent, which is an investigative narrative RPG from industry legend Josh Sawyer. Obsidian is also building the Outer Worlds 2. From what we've heard, the game is developing nicely, set to launch further out than Avowed. Good chance we could see Forza Motorsport 8. And DLC, which we just talked about, probably going to be Hot Wheels DLC for Horizon 5. A chance Fable could make an appearance. Gears of War 6, maybe. I'll let this is a lot. This is a lot, guys. I'll throw it in chat, but we've already read a lot about what we could potentially experience from the showcases coming up, and we're gonna watch them. But if you're interested in looking at the rest of that article to see what's potentially in there, then it's right there in chat, guys. For anybody that's fans of cycling, man, Pro Cycling Manager 2022 and Tour de France 2022 PC games both launch today. That was 2 hours ago. Both titles are owned and produced by Nikon Gaming company from the north of France, and their annual launch is timed to coincide with the Tour de France. Pro Cycling Manager originally launched in 2001, took the Pro label in 2005, and has been an annual launch ever since. Close it. PC via the Steam Store, okay. Tour de France 2022 put you in the rider seat. Choose to be any rider type you like, sprinter to mountain goat. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, it would be just. I mean, it would be wild if they had some way to incorporate that. I don't think so though. It's so this one, Tour de France, is for Steam, also available for PS4, PS5, Xbox, last gen, new gen consoles. Yeah. My tour mode puts you in the shoes of the race organizer, choosing from 92 stages to build. 21-day grand tour, choosing the route, the rest days, the teams that partake, and more. Online mode, race of the week. Looks pretty cool. Here, I'll throw it in chat. I don't know if that'd be wild, dude. They'd be a good way to get people exercising while playing games and stuff. Yeah, get it set up to where you could like play the game while like actually riding a stationary bike and stuff. That'd be wild. I don't think that's the way it works, but that'd be cool. Maybe they'll incorporate that further down the line or something. I don't know. I don't know if it's actually any kind of the potential for that is actually there right now, but that'd be really neat for them. How do you even play? Well, it would just be like any racing game, you know, that you play with a controller or whatever. It's not like whenever you play a car racing game, right? It's just about, you know, if you're not using a legitimate like steering wheel setup and stuff like they have, which are very expensive. Traditionally, you're just playing with a controller, right? So you'll have a gas, you'll have a brake, you'll have like regular turn, you'll have sharper turn, like hand brakes and stuff. It'll be the same kind of way. It'll just be like on bikes and everything, I'm guessing. You probably find out more if you look into it in the what I put into the chat there. Yeah. How much today's Summer Game Fest? We'll be watching it here. Keely's back as the host with the presentation set to show off a ton of neat video games. Wondering how to watch Summer Games Fest? We've got it covered. This year's Summer Game Fest is unique that you don't have to watch it glued to your desk. It's being broadcast at a variety of IMAX theaters throughout the U.S. and Canada if you can make it. See if it's being shown at a theater near you and buy tickets on the IMAX website. If you're like me and don't live in the U.S. or you prefer your showcases from the comfort of your own home, still a ton of ways to tune in. Check out the Summer Games Fest via YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, or Twitter. Creators like Ludwig and is that Courage? Courage? Courage. It's Courage. Courage. We'll be co-streaming the event. I'm not familiar with that individual. Sun's out, guns out. Yeah, what's up, dude? Yeah, it's getting warm, dude. It's getting warm. Apparently, according to our buddy Tinwin, I'm looking like a redneck today, dude. What's up, Wick? Co-streaming the event too. If reacting along with another person is more your vibe, we'll be watching it here. Okay, so hang out with us. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Courage. Courage. Uh, drive a lifted truck. You look like you drive a lifted truck. Maybe. I don't know. Look, there are positive connotations. We looked up the difference between. We looked up the definition of a redneck, and we looked up the definition of a hillbilly as well, and the comparisons between the two. And there's positive connotations that go along with redneck. Traditionally, it's used in modern day more of a slang term, but I'm just going with Tinwin was trying to compliment me. That's it. That's it. Definitely not a Prius. Dude, you don't know me. I be hanging out that Prius window, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's up? The lifted, look, Tinwin, the lifted truck thing, dude, that's something that's been going on between, or a chopper bike. That would work too, I guess, yeah. The lifted truck thing's been an inside thing between me and Wick for quite a while now. I don't know if you're familiar, but the whole lifted truck thing is back and forth banter, inside joke kind of stuff between me and Wick. It's been going on for a while. Funny enough, I don't own a truck, and Wick does in real life. So, I mean, you tell me, dude. You tell me. And actually, dude, I used to have a bobber chopper. It was an old 81 Yamaha that the frame had been chopped and stretched. It had a cool little Harley tank on it. Man, it was like candy apple green. And had like a big sissy bar on the back and stuff. Dude, the bike was sick. It was a lot of fun. I haven't ridden a motorcycle in quite a while now, though. Promising footage from the Summer Games Fest includes Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Gotham Knights, even a guest appearance from The Rock. Appearances from the likes of 2K, Bandai Namco, Capcom, EA, Sega, and Warner Bros. Okay. Yep. We'll be watching it today. It's coming. We've only got about an hour left until the first show. We got showcases all day, man. There's not going to be a ton of gameplay today, guys. Especially because the news segment's going pretty long today. But yesterday we were down, so that's kind of to be expected. Steam leak reveals controversial Nintendo Switch exclusive is coming to PC. Shut up. New Steam leak has revealed that Nintendo Switch Lite and Nintendo Switch OLED exclusive coming to PC and seemingly coming to the digital storefront very soon. While games like The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, Super Mario Odyssey, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Nintendo's first-party exclusives, are never going to come to PC, third-party Switch exclusives have shown that they can migrate to other platforms. Latest example of this seems to be Deadly Premonition 2, A Blessing in Disguise, which seems not only Steam-bound, but it looks like it's coming to the PC storefront today. Come play while I can't? Well, I mean, I'm gonna get through the news. I gotta get through the news, man. Yeah. So I mean, I had already said previously that Newsday and gaming. Well, here's the thing: missing a day of streaming is always going to make the news longer. We've had a lot of good discussion today too. The news segments, we still get into them where they're like an hour long and stuff, but it just depends on what we come across. And I very much enjoy, kind of fleshing out a lot of these ideas with you guys too. That's a big part of what is fun about these news segments is us staying up to date, but also, taking different views from the community about what we're coming across and stuff. So it is what it is. I love the news segments, man, and so we're gonna take however long we need to take to do them. Now, I said on Tuesday to be aware that Thursday was going to be a lot of gaming showcases and stuff. So there's just probably not going to be a lot of gaming that gets done. Actually, through the end of the week, man, to the extent of what we normally do, because it's normally just news and then gaming, right? But with all the showcases happening, even through Tuesday, It's going to be news, gaming when we can, and paying attention to all the showcase stuff. So that's just the way that the week's going to go for roughly the next like 6 days. Just is what it is. In a now deleted trailer, it was revealed that the game was coming to Steam, and according to this trailer, coming to the platform today. In other words, it was going to be a stealth release. That said, sorry guys. That said, it seems this trailer was accidentally released early as it's since been pulled and the game is nowhere to be seen on Steam, suggesting this may be a Summer Games Fest announcement that was supposed to go live on Thursday. Also possible, with Nintendo Direct rumors circulating, this was a Nintendo Direct splash that was accidentally leaked early. Whatever that the case, the cat is out of the bag. This is an open world survivor horror game. Anybody played this? The debuted back in 2020 by Toybox and White Owls developers. The game garnered a 56 on Metacritic. Seemingly failed to live up to it's so bad it's good legacy of the first game. Yeah, okay. Well, there you go, though. I'll link this. If you're interested. Modern Warfare 2, Warzone 2, and all future Call of Duty games will be on one unified engine. The developers behind Call of Duty are moving to a single unified engine across games and studios, starting with Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2. All the various studios working on Call of Duty, including Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer, Raven, and Treyarch, will now be working on a single engine for every new entry in the series going forward. Internally, the developers are referring to this initiative as COD 2.0. While that name may not make it past development interviews, it does hint at the direction this new era of Call of Duty is taking. When one of the teams puts in a really cool rendering or audio or animation feature, communications director Stephanie Snowden told Games Radar Plus, then we have a bunch of people implement it in the other engine and then another engine again. The new engine model is intended to eliminate that issue so each studio can directly contribute to the work of others. That only makes sense, man. It's way more efficient. As for the starting point of the new engine, there's a large chunk of that from what I suppose you probably thought of as the IW engine, Snowden says, adding that there was a large chunk from our other teams as well that got integrated into that. Despite the development advantages of a unified engine, Snowden says the team is mindful that Call of Duty games might homogenize under this tact, an issue the devs are keen to avoid. A Black Ops game historically has had a slightly different feel, some different art direction and things like that than an Infinity Ward game. And I will tell you, from our point of view, we celebrate and embrace that we're not looking to mash them all together into one. All right, so there you go. Unified engine across all the Call of Duty stuff. Hang iconic gaming moments on your wall with these officially licensed pixel frames. I love seeing this kind of stuff. That's great. It's like 3D pixel art. There are some moments in gaming that are so memorable they deserve to be celebrated in some meaningful way. That's exactly what Pixel Frames is offering. The company produces officially licensed shadow boxes that are snapshots that perfectly convey your love for retro gaming and cover franchises such as Mega Man, Street Fighter, Sonic, and Battletoads. Battletoads, dude! Let's go. Each one, the foreground, midground, and background are layered and distanced in order to add a sense of depth, which makes the image come alive. Each layer is laser cut, then inserted into a foam backing that holds each popular scene at a different point of depth to add a 3D feel to 2D retro games. Lucky enough to be sent a selection of these products. Quality is impressive, the build quality and materials are both excellent, and the 3D effect is seriously striking, especially when hung on your office or bedroom wall in just the right place. And because they're quite compact frames, there's the temptation to arrange them in groups which look even more appealing. Yeah, these are cool, man. Nice. Yo, if you're interested, here. I'm actually gonna bookmark this later. Your monthly video game news roundup. We've covered a lot of this already in different articles and stuff. Yeah. So I'm not going to dive into that. We've got enough other news we need to still get through. So, the Razer Kishi V2 looks like an ideal Xbox Cloud gaming controller. So for mobile devices and stuff, yeah. Razer has launched the Razer Kishi V2, latest version of its universal mobile gaming controller for, Android devices. The split controller, which attaches to either side of your phone, is available to buy now from Razer's official website. The updated mobile controller is being billed by Razer as an ideal way to play AAA cloud-based games available on platforms like Xbox Cloud Gaming and NVIDIA GeForce Now. Yeah. If you want to play high-fidelity games on your phone from the comfort of your couch or bed, then the Razer Kishi V2 might be well worth a look. Their review of the original Razer Kishi controller is positive, praising the sturdy build quality and its compatibility with most phones. At the time, though, they did lament the relative lack of games that supported peripheral. Right now, the Kishi version 2 only supports Android devices. However, a version that's compatible with iOS devices like the iPhone 13 is coming in this fall. That means you should expect the iPhone version to launch somewhere between September and November. The Razer Kishi version 2 costs roughly $100 US, around, what is it, 79 or 80 pounds? Is that right? And $140 Australian. It is available to buy from Razer's official store. Prices are in US, but Razer ships worldwide to over 30 countries, including the UK and Australia. If you're interested, here you go. Take a look. Okay, it's not too long. So latency in next-gen gaming, tackling that issue. Delivering a constant experience to gamers playing on different devices with varying connection speeds, many of which are separated by thousands of miles, is a complex challenge. Massively popular online games like Roblox and Fortnite are just two of the many games which have benefited from years of investment into infrastructure in order to support millions of concurrent players. As the below chart from Super Juiced shows, multiplayer and online gaming is becoming the preferred way to play games amongst the most active gaming demographic, with all the technical challenges that this creates. Any kind of competitive online game, whether it be like fighting games or first-person shooters or just even co-op stuff, it can latency can be a huge hindrance to your gameplay experience. Yeah. How can game companies, telcos, and ISPs deliver on the performance promises being made to gamers? That's where edge computing comes in. As the name implies, edge computing brings computation and data storage closer to the sources of data, placing it on the edge of the network where the performance gain is the greatest. As you'd expect, reducing unnecessary travel distance drastically speeds up the process, providing an almost lag-free experience. More players equals more chance for latency to be a problem. Yeah. Cross-platform. VR and the metaverse. Unlocking next-gen gaming. The pace at which modern gaming is evolving is astounding, making the components discussed here work lag-free, and as players expect will be a huge undertaking. Even more so when developers attempt to bring them all together in the metaverse. Whatever each company's version of the metaverse is outside of what we already have. I get so tired of hearing that word. The issue of latency may be less headline-grabbing than virtual fashion shows, NFTs, and Mark Zuckerberg's slightly unsettling promotional video. The ability to seamlessly stitch all of these elements together will be critical in making the metaverse lineup to live up, to expectations and therefore to its success. That's a huge part of it, right? There are a lot of different components again that come into what adds up to creating latency for gamers. It also netcode on the part of the developer themselves for the games, has a significant effect on how the experience lines up between you and another player or other players, what have you. Netcode is a huge part of it, but this is also, you know, a significant issue to be addressed. I don't know if this is going to be worth. Dude, give me a. Yeah, electronic table games. This is not for us. Humble Games Black Game Developer Fund reveals 5 new projects. Black Game Developer Fund will spend around 1 million US this year, helping create a host of upcoming games. Black Game Developer Fund, Humble Games initiative to fund and support Black game developers worldwide, has made some new announcements in celebration of its second-year anniversary. These include signing on 5 new projects from development partners and investing around 1 million US in funding. Adam Kareem's Proto-Droid Delta, a new 3D action platformer, has been signed to a publishing agreement with Humble Games, notably being the first BGDF partner to launch their game, made as an ode to the Sonic and Mega Man franchises and an ode to the 90s leap from 2D platformers to 3D. Proto-Droid Delta has players controlling the titular Proto-Droid as she fights to save the Radia region from the Viper threat. The game is set to release in early 2023, and a Humble Games page is now live. Very vibrant. In regards to the additional funding, this follows Humble Games representatives alongside BGDF, strategic advisors Sith, is this Cube? And Justin Woodward, selecting 30-plus Black independent developers and studios led by Black developers to receive funding. More information about the second year of BGDF can be read here. As part of this initiative, 5 new development partners have been announced, including Code Blue Games, GX Grainson, Joseph Hooker, Ritual Games, and Weathered Sweater. I like that name, Weathered Sweater. Formed by developers from Sony, Disney, and Bethesda, Code Blue Games is working on their third-person sci-fi action-adventure game 6 Degrees, which has characters transferring their minds into robots for combat and exploration. Oh, that's wild. That's it. Good night, dude. The rest of the developers are currently working on games with unannounced titles yet they each have a few details attached to them. GX Grainson is simply noted as working on a follow-up to their previous game, Arcus Chroma. Joseph Hooker's project is described as being compelling, with modern rendering and post-processing melded with a retro aesthetic. Meanwhile, Ritual Games developers Daryl Reed and John Goldthorpe are hard at work on an unannounced title inspired by their love of fighting games and 80s action movies. Weathered Sweater, founded by award-winning Trinidadian American game developer Ryan Huggins, is plugging away at an unannounced turn-based survival game. Cool, man. Cool. I'm going to link this for you guys as well. Here we go. Gaming and violence, man. 2 incidents of online gaming addiction turning minors into criminals have come to the fore in the city within 7 days. This is out of the Times of India. While in the first case, a boy stole Rs 4.5 lakh from his house to pay for the game. In the second case, the boy went on to kill his mother. If experts at the special clinic to treat online addictions at the psychiatry department of King George's Medical University are to be believed, several cases are reported every month in which kids are found to be turning violent because of such gaming addictions. So, hold on, and we're going to talk about this. Adarsh Tripathi, assistant professor from the psychiatry department of KGMU, said on a weekly basis, KGMU clinic receives about 8 to 10 cases where children are addicted to gaming. It has been found that though they are addicted to an alarming level, children don't consider their behavior a problem. In fact, even their parents do not react to their behavior. It is only when they develop mental/physical disorders they are brought to the clinic. The number of children addicted to gaming might even be more, as the parents only visit when these children become very violent. If such children are counseled on time, such issues can be resolved easily, he said. The most worrisome fact about these games is that there is no end to it. The young mind begins to think that he is getting powerful in the real world also. This illusion, quote, this illusion of power creates a negative impact on the mind of a child. Also, quote, in such a state where they feel empowered, if they are not able to play for the lack of money or other reasons, they take other routes, he added. The parents need to watch if the child is getting aggressive when he is not allowed to watch a show or play an online game on mobile laptop. If they, quote, if they refuse to eat and get stubborn with their demands, consider the situation alarming, he said, while claiming that many children who were addicted to such games become normal after a few counseling sessions. For a moment, okay? There is no doubt that gaming can be addictive, just like anything else in life. We talk about it quite often, and it's very important to make sure that you are, partaking and indulging in anything in life within your own personal life, which would be considered to be in moderation, right? Anything in excess can potentially be harmful to you. I would say specifically in regards to video games, because they can tend to, especially something that's very fun, you can lose time in those games very easily, right? Where it feels like you've only been playing for a couple hours or whatever, can turn into 8 very easily. Now, I think the important thing to note here is that, again, moderation. You make sure that you're taking care, and this is coming from somebody who sits here and I play games for 8 to 10 hours a day, right? I also make sure that I have plenty of time to address the other parts of my life that need to be managed, whether that be hygiene or taking things that have to do with taking care of my family unit, sustenance, eating, and things like that. So each individual has to take a critical look at what it takes, no matter what you're partaking in life, to incorporate it into your lifestyle in a very manageable way to where it doesn't affect other important aspects of your life. We've talked quite a lot here recently regarding what is considered to be violence in regards to video games, right? Video games have traditionally been blamed for being the catalyst behind violent acts. And there's been plenty of research, scientifically proven research, that shows that is not really the case. Now, there's a difference between the content you're being exposed to within certain forms of entertainment, video games being one of them, and the correlation there between it prompting people to act on violent tendencies, as opposed to this, what we're reading in here is these kids acting violent because they're not able to partake in the games in the way that they want, right? Such as their parents not allowing them to spend money on the game, or their parents getting mad at them for stealing money and spending it on games and stuff like that. There's a difference between these kids getting violent and showing negative personality traits over their inaccessibility to approach games in the way that they want, or inability to approach these and access these games in the way that they want, as opposed to violence being conducted by people through video games being a catalyst of violent tendencies, because that is not a thing, okay? Entertainment as a whole can affect people short term with their emotional states and things like that. That's definitely a thing, music, movies, video games, very short term spurts of mood changing stuff, right? Emotional states and things, but not to the point of being a catalyst of going and having people commit violent acts. So there's definitely something we need to be very distinct in separating these two issues here. It is very important, I feel, for especially any kind of guardian to have a very dedicated what's the word I'm looking for? To make sure that whatever youth they are in charge of, whether it be a parent or a grandparent or whatever, to ensure that the children, that children, because children are very impressionable, right, are not being exposed to things that maybe they shouldn't be exposed to, and to maybe ensure that kids are not taking this video game experience too far. That they realize that there are other things that are important in life, not just video games, because or entertainment for that matter. Because quite often, what guardians do is go, "I've got stuff I need to do. Here's a screen. Sit down and just gorge yourself on it," right? And they don't necessarily have real good control or oversight of what children are being exposed to, how much time they're spending, and ensuring that there's actually an educational process going on there to show kids that there are other things that are important, right? There are other things that need to be taken care of, not just constantly being in front of screens and stuff. I think there's definitely something that is said for that kind of management from guardians into what children are being exposed to and how much content they are indulging in on a daily basis. Ultimately, that's part of what we should be doing in raising youth, right? And being responsible figures that kids look up to and look to for guidance, right? I think that's an important part. And ultimately, whenever people become adults, it's up to them on how to live their lives as an adult, right? But I think that guidance plays a big part in getting rid of some of this that is happening. All right, look. Last news article for this morning. If there's anything else that anybody wants to bring up, it's been a long one, man, but it's been a good one. I've really enjoyed it, and it felt bad being down yesterday. So if there's anything that anybody wants to address before we finish the news segment, let me know. We're going to pull up I've got a video to watch in between the news segment and what we get into next. We're only roughly 45 minutes away from our first showcase for the day, but our buddy Varia has shared a really funny video with us regarding Valheim play, and we might go take a look real quick at one of Varia's other servers before the first showcase starts, okay? If there's any other news that you want to bring to my attention, please let me know while I finish this article, okay? Proto-Droid Delta to be published by Humble Games. Okay. That's what I thought. Yeah, this is what we already kind of read about, which is the Humble Games doing the Black Game Dev Fund. Yeah, and this is the same game that we'd already kind of read about. Let's watch this real quick and see what this game has to offer. Though. We didn't see a trailer before, so let's take a look. Okay, I think we're getting to some gameplay. Cool.
So you're another proto-droid? Like me? ¡Qué emocionante! I always assumed I was the only one.
You cannot allow the worthless lives of a few gang leaders to jeopardize the safety of thousands of civilians.
Life and death isn't yours to decide. We will find another way.
In order to win, I must grow stronger.
Again, this
I
is
Your
supposed to
blade
be,
is looking weak. Come,
you know, some of what
vamos.
they looked
I will
to for
teach
this,
you my
the development of this game was a bit of some Mega Man stuff. And you can definitely see some of those elements in play here, yeah? Cool. I already linked kind of the humble stuff earlier, but since I'm not going to read all of this article, if you're interested moving forward, this might have a little bit of different information. A lot of the other games for this humble bundle haven't really been announced yet for the Black Game Dev Fund, but Proto Droid Delta is definitely looking pretty cool. So there you go. Okay. That'll be it for news. You all are amazing. Thank you for being a part of this. I know this is a very long news segment. This is probably the longest news segment we've ever done, actually. Being down yesterday didn't help. We had a lot of good discussion today, though, and I really enjoy the news segments. I know it's maybe not everybody's kind of thing, but for me, I love staying current, and I love talking about these issues with the community. You guys have a lot of great, viewpoints and ideas, and we have some great civil conversation about a lot of these issues and or these articles, these topics, and I appreciate you guys very much. If you weren't able to catch it live, it'll be uploaded later, right? If you are watching this on YouTube and you're enjoying the content, see what you can do about coming and hanging out with us every morning at 6 a.m. CST, where we do these news segments live before we hop into our most of the time gaming content, right? We're doing showcases this week, but other than that, if you are watching this on YouTube and you are enjoying the content, also please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Maybe leave me some comments so we can have a bit of a discussion on the YouTube channel regarding some of these topics that we came across, okay? Other than that, you guys are amazing. I really appreciate you so very much. Thanks for being a part of this. Everybody that comes and hangs out in this channel is part of building such an amazing community, and I appreciate you guys very much. That'll be it for the news segment. We're going to move on to a little bit of some Valheim stuff and a lot of showcases today, okay? Everybody, if you are watching this on YouTube, then stay healthy, stay safe, be kind, and we will catch everybody tomorrow morning for June 10th edition of Video Gaming News, all right?